cool out there. The high of 63, but that breeze out of the north making it feel that extra little bit cool. Clear skies, chilly tonight, the low down to 40 degrees. Now, a very pleasant day for us as we head out of the week on Friday. It will be breezy, but want plenty of sunshine, and it'll be warmer with the high moving up to 70. Then gorgeous weather straight through the weekend with high pressure parked right over the region. Saturday, we'll have plenty of sunshine, great weather for checking out the fall foliage both days this weekend. Plenty of sun Saturday, that high 72. Warmer on Sunday. Again, plenty of sunshine out there, but the high moving up to 77. Then a great start to next week. Very warm on Monday. Still nice and sunny. That high of 78 with a light breeze out of the west-northwest. Mostly sunny and still warm on Tuesday. The high back to 76. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones up 168 points. NASDAQ's ahead 42, and the S&P is up 5 points. We have partly sunny skies, 58 degrees right now in Hartford. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
One of the most memorable features of the Bob Steele Show was the word for the day. Bob educated and entertained listeners daily. Each day, he would choose a word that was frequently mispronounced or misused. He provided word meanings and fixed common spelling errors. Bob explained that his interest grew out of a directive to lose the Midwestern accent. In the days that followed, he became very interested in correct pronunciation and usage and never lost that interest. He even went so far to say he may have owed his entire career to it.
Our words this week, do you say repercussion or repercussion? Say repercussion, you'll be right. Nuptial, N-U-P-T-I-A-L, the nuptial ceremony, the wedding ceremony. Don't say nuptial. Nuptial is correct.
Later in life, he established the Bob Steele Literacy Volunteers Reading Center in Hartford.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With
Michael B.,
National
what's
Debt
up, baby?
Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-649-6464 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. 800-649-6464. That's
Indeed, Johnny,
800-649-6464.
Life can be unpredictable.
1 minute.
But you shouldn't have
Ready
to
to
suffer
go.
the consequences of someone else's negligence. If you've been in an accident or work-related injury and it's not your fault, you need a lawyer who knows how to get you the fair and just compensation. At Brown, Panderas & Scott, our team of personal injury lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Bruce Newman is responsible for the content of this ad.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers would recommend AAA insurance to a friend? 9 out of 10? 9 out of 10 people don't even love their birthday. Yeah, their own birthday. The one occasion where eating cake at any time of day is not only accepted, it's actively encouraged. Wait, does that mean people like us more than cake? Legendary service and from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 of our customers would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote. Based on a 2023 customer survey. Insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
An ounce of humility here would go a long way, and she doesn't have it in her to do it, and she has no real answer other than to blame Congress. And Brett was right. Democrats controlled everything when they took over, and so is she saying it's the Democrats' fault that the immigration system is broken? I don't understand this. I don't understand why she can't just say, hindsight here, we shouldn't have done it. I think the American people would actually accept it, but she won't do it.
What's going on, all you scallywags out there? And, of course, the nutmeggers across the state of Connecticut. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC on this October the 17th, 2024. Your telephone calls are not only required, but they are requested at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. What did we learn last night? By the way, I got a little something for the people who were crapping on Bret Baier. The people who, I shouldn't say crapping on, they were leery of Bret Baier. They were a little concerned about Bret Baier. We'll get into that later. I told you that there were two people's career on the line yesterday, and it was Kamala Harris's and Bret Baier's, and that's what we got. We got two people fighting for their ever-loving lives. But today's monologue isn't about what everyone else is talking about. You've been here long enough, folks. You've been here long enough. I do not have to express to you that I never go after the talking points. I'm going after the most important part of the interview last night. It is not about whether or not Bret Baier talked over Kamala Harris. It is not about whether or not Kamala Harris filibustered on the first question. 3 minutes it took her to ask, how many people do you think crossed the border under your administration? 3 minutes it took her to answer that one question about a number. It's not about that. What it is about is what the opening monologue by Scott Jennings of CNN said. And that is directly to the people who are claiming they support Kamala Harris as President of the United States. You are voting for an adolescent, a child, a petulant child. No, not because she was screaming and became unhinged. No. Everything Kamala Harris was asked about were things that she had to account for, things that happened under her leadership with the President of the United States. And she could not take responsibility for anything that she alone was responsible for. Everything she gave. The simplest of questions, the answer she gave was that it was Donald Trump's fault. Let me give you the most important question that displays what I'm talking about. Bret Baier asked Kamala Harris one question. The country says, 79% of them, that says the country is on the wrong track. Who is responsible for that? If that poll is taken today, why do Americans feel, 79% of them feel as though the country is on the wrong track? Here's Kamala's answer. You heard it.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
It is a simple answer. We need to do better. They obviously are not satisfied with the work that I and the president have done. But I am pleading with the American people to give me a chance. I was only in a secondary role supporting the president of the United States. I clearly am not Joe Biden. I will not be an extension of the Joe Biden campaign. So when I answer the question, why do 79% of Americans believe that the country is on the wrong track, I answer like this.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
So you've been the person holding.
What the hell did that mean? 79% of the country believes that the country's on the wrong track and Donald Trump has been running for office. That's the reason why? The American people don't like your administration, anything you've done, and it's Donald Trump's fault for running? Are you suggesting that they would be gleeful about your administration if Donald Trump had never joined the race? How does that square? And I don't need to even make this about Kamala Harris. This is absolutely irrelevant. I don't need to ask her rhetorical questions. I'm talking to the people who support her. This is your candidate. Say what you want about Donald Trump. Say anything you want about Donald Trump. But you can't. Not in this case. I'll finish this piece out in a second. Who wants to win a T-shirt? Right now, I'm going to give a T-shirt. I'm going to give a T-shirt away. How many times does Kamala Harris in this interview say Donald Trump? Let's see if you could guess right now.
Donald Trump,
Democrats voted.
Donald Trump, 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 and Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
President Biden had a fundraiser debate stage.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
That's her entire administration. Blaming others. That is what you are going to get when you get her into the White House. Should she win? That's what you're going to get. Madam President, 14 service members died in Beirut. Can you tell us why the military didn't do such and such? Well, you know, the previous administration, well, that was Joe Biden. Okay, well, the administration before him. Are they going to have a summit meeting? Are they going to have a meeting in the Situation Room that she's going to look at her staff and go, how can we put this on Donald Trump? Or for that matter, anyone else? You are going to elect a president who has told you that she will never, ever be accountable for what she does. She's not even in the office, and she can't take responsibility for things that are obviously on her watch. She is asking Bret Baier in a tough interview, can we get back to Donald Trump? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Can we get back to Donald Trump? You know that this is all Donald Trump's fault, don't you? Can we find a way to get this back to Donald Trump? No, please stop paying attention to me. This is Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is this, and Donald Trump is that. You are going to elect someone who will never be accountable. And guess what? Your lives are at stake. Everything in your life is at stake. And she will never, never take responsibility. If she screws up, it won't be her fault. This is an opportunity to show leadership, right? That she's capable. That's what they're all telling us in the news media. She showed strength. She showed resolve. She didn't show responsibility. Tell me how she did. Tell me where she's... Everyone knows that what the administration did in the beginning by removing some, 80, 90 executive orders by Donald Trump allowed an influx we've never seen before at the southern border, was asked about, how about this one? When he played the audio or showed the video of the young lady who says that because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's policies, that her daughter was murdered. And instead of saying sorry, she says, I feel sorry for her. I feel so sorry for her. I used to say this about my ex when we used to get into an argument. She would say something or do something offensive, and her response to me was, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that you were affected by that. No sorry for doing it. But that's the deal with Kamala Harris. There's no reason, there's no accountability. And there never will be. You are electing a woman who will find some scapegoat. And you'll be happy. You'll celebrate. Yay, we got the first woman president. At what cost? Only for you to be angry later? We'll get into that. That's another crazy thing I need to get into in a bit. What was that for? What would it be for? If you want to get in on this break, the number is 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. That's the only thing I was waiting to see. When the first question came out the gate, I thought, wow, good question, Brett. Let's see if she actually knows the number. And she meandered on for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I counted. I sat in my office this morning counting how long it took her to come to it before Brett could get to the next question. She spoke for 3 whole minutes for a 20-minute sit-down, 26 minutes actually, the 26-minute sit-down. She went on for 3 minutes on question 1. So between the time when Brett introduces her, hey, thank you for being here, Madam Vice President. First question, her answer. We're into 5 minutes, 5 seconds. And you guys, who's celebrating? 860-522-WTIC. Rob's in Middletown. How you doing, Rob?
Good. How are you, Reese? Just one quick question. If 79% of Americans are pissed off at the job that they're doing, how are the polls 50-50?
Yeah, thank you. Again, this is also the thing that, what was the guy's name from 60 Minutes? I'm always forgetting his name because I don't see him all that much. But it was just like what he said when he asked the question. A quarter of the electorate has no idea who you are, which is a great point. Donald Trump has got 150% name recognition. Kamala Harris has 25% of the electorate not even knowing who she is, and she's running neck and neck with this guy? Come on.
Exactly. Can I get a shot at the shirt?
Go for it. What do you got?
52.
Too many. You're way above. Listen to me. I had to slow the audio down to count. It was that there's so many times when it comes in, I had to slow it down to count. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. Tony is in Farmington. How you doing, Tony?
Good, Reese. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
I'm going to guess 31 on Kamala's.
That is actually a good guess. Little high, though. Little high.
Right.
It's a good guess.
And
What do you got for me otherwise?
I just got one quick complaint about your show.
Oh, okay.
And that is...
What do you got for me otherwise?
Well, hold on one second.
Sorry,
and that is, whenever you play that lead-in with Kamala explaining why she... or whenever she listens to the radio, how she always likes to listen to Reese on the radio.
Yes.
But the next 10 seconds of it are what makes it. And that's where she explains the reason why she listens to Reese on the radio. And you've been lately, I mean, for a while now, you've been cutting that off.
Okay.
And I mean, to me, that's what shines about that whole clip.
You know what? That is not, listen, that's not lost on me. Roland, that's a request. If you can, at least once or twice. I know it's a long piece. So I'm rolling here loud and clear. I like that bit too. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, tell Roland. I mean, there's some things that you just got to take the extra 10 or 12 seconds to play every single time because it doesn't cut it unless it goes to its completion.
You got it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you saying it. And I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it, by the way. That's not lost on me either. Carol is in Southington. Hello, Carol.
Hello. I'm going to guess 24 times.
Little high, not bad, but a little high.
Okay. Did you notice at one point she got so angry.
Yes.
She sat back in her chair, put her hands on her knees, and she was like arrogant looking on her face because he had the nerve to ask her those questions. She was really pissed. By the time she got out of that interview, she had to be on fire.
The interesting part is what she got angry about, right? Because there are some things that she can show some emotion about that she can't. She plays a very somber role. And I noticed that Brett Baer would sort of draw that out of her, because when she was talking about Donald Trump becoming unhinged, she gets animated. And then, of course, he sweeps the leg when he says, well, what about Joe Biden and his cognitive decline? That point, he sweeps the leg, and she immediately becomes somber again, and she's got to wait because they should have known that talking about Donald Trump being unhinged would lead directly. It's a gotcha question. You know, she had to know it was, or her staffers wouldn't have known, but they should have known it was coming. If you call this guy unhinged or old or crazy, you got to know that the Biden question on Biden's coming right behind it. You got to turn me down in the back. Yeah, I can hear myself. Although I love hearing myself, don't get me wrong.
Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. In her hands, hang on, I'll turn it down.
Yeah, her hands, right. My wife picked that up. Right, my wife picked that up very early.
Oh, geez. She can't talk without her hands.
No, and I'll tell you why that is. It's, I always say that it's expression, right? It's just like, I need to convince you with my hands. Mm-hmm. Like, because I know people are watching me online, but I'm an animated person because of the way that I talk, and I forget that I'm on radio, so I'm almost describing stuff in a way, so my body's moving around. I'm very animated in that way. But Kamala Harris does this thing where every body, what do you call it? What's the name of those people who watch your body language specialists? They always watch what she does, and what's amazing is when Kamala Harris is lying, when she says yes and she means no, she'll say yes with her hand, but her head will turn left and right to say no. She does that a lot. She has a lot of tells. Kamala Harris would be the worst poker player. Let me just put it that way.
She'll be the worst president if she ever got elected. I just heard it go away because she is just like a kid.
Yeah.
She's like, everything is funny to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, Carol. I got to go to a hard break, but Carol, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views, and, of course, more importantly, your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Get ready for an unforgettable musical experience with the Hartford Symphony Orchestra. Join us October 18th through the 20th as Leonid Segal celebrates 20 years as concertmaster. Lenny will not only conduct the orchestra, but both play and conduct the famous Beethoven Violin Concerto. Plus, enjoy Carlos Simon's Fate Now Conquers and Bizet's vibrant Symphony No. 1. Don't miss this unique event at the Bushnell. Tickets start as low as $10 for students. For tickets, call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things.
Thank you, Keith.
Do I have time?
Be right back.
Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly cloudy skies and 58 degrees. There is word of the death of the Hamas leader who has been alleged to have single-handedly masterminded the attack on Israel last October, Yahya Sinwar.
This could be a turning point in the war because the Israelis and even the Americans felt that Sinwar was really an obstacle to reaching a hostage deal with Israel to get back those about 100 hostages still left in Gaza.
Correspondent Robert Berger in Jerusalem. President Biden says the killing of Sinwar by Israeli troops is a good day for Israel, the U.S., and for the world. He calls it an opportunity to free Israeli hostages held by Hamas and end the year-long war in Gaza.
All right, we have a winner.
Police in New Haven investigating after they say he was struck by a garbage truck while riding a bike. This happened early this morning, the area of Chapel Street and North Frontage Road in the Elm City. 24-year-old's name not yet released by police, who say the truck driver did remain on scene. Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz due in Connecticut this weekend. Multiple reports have Walz attending a fundraiser in Greenwich with top state Democrats. Independent panel investigating the attempted assassination of former President Trump this summer in Pennsylvania says the Secret Service needs fundamental reform and that another Butler can happen again without major changes in how candidates are protected. Preparations continuing for this weekend's Eversource Hartford Marathon. The 26.2-mile jaunt will take runners from the state capitol through East Hartford and South Windsor before winding up at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch in Bushnell Park on Saturday. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Jason Caterina in the Weather Center sees mainly, I'll call it a mix of clouds and sun for the rest of the afternoon. Clear tonight, not as cold, near 40. We'll wrap things up on Friday with morning sun and temperatures climbing towards the 70-degree mark. It's 58 right now in Hartford on Wall Street, half hour before the close. The Dow up 153 points. NASDAQ's ahead 23, and the S&P is up a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared.
Yes,
And they
Michael.
try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races. And yet, there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not. Because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief. America's America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices,
just
go
the
to
fact that
hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Attention, if you owe...
1 minute.
Just the fact that right now you have a former president who, yes, has been the target of apparent assassinations twice.
Seizing bank accounts and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Here we go.
800-354-2840.
Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm over here going over some old audio on my computer. Just showing, there's just so much to go through, and it's like it would take up half the show of Kamala inability to answer questions, and when she does, finding someone else to be at fault. And I think the opening monologue captures this correctly, because the news media can fact check her on this talking point about the first days of the administration. This constant thing that Kamala talks about. You know, on day one, the first bill. They had control of Congress. They had control of the Senate. They were handed that, and it didn't pass. Guys like Cory Booker and Bernie Sanders, two of the most prominent Democrats, voted against it. And it was nothing more than an amnesty bill to boot. She couldn't answer it. It's always about Donald Trump. And she kept pushing it back to, just 90 days ago, she says. Again, we're talking about the beginning of your administration, which she doesn't want to go back to. And if you missed it, here's Scott Jennings, who is blazing it up over on CNN.
An ounce of humility here would go a long way, and she doesn't have it in her to do it, and she has no real answer other than to blame Congress. And Brett was right. Democrats controlled everything when they took over, and so is she saying it's the Democrats' fault that the immigration system is broken? I don't understand this. I don't understand why she can't just say, hindsight here, we shouldn't have done it. I think the American people would actually accept it, but she won't do it.
She can't do it. And remember, if she were to get into office, if she were to retain Congress and the Senate, whatever they did that ended up being wrong would never be her fault. The idea would never be hers. And here's the crazy part, folks. Let me really lay this one out for you. Kamala Harris gave the ultimate tell about what kind of president she would be. Think about it. You know that she said it. And this is directed at liberals. Did Kamala Harris say that she would make Republicans a part of her administration? You guys applauded that, didn't you? Yeah. Look at old bipartisan Kamala. Look at all the Republicans who were standing on the dais with her. She kept pointing that out. I have got Republican after Republican after Republican who is on the dais with me, who is standing by me. You know what that war chest is being built for? Scapegoats. She'll blame the advice on the advice of counsel. Why did that building blow up? I was listening to Liz Cheney. Why did that bill not get passed? I was listening to Mitt Romney. That's all that's about. She's laying out her plans she's setting up the blame game. And now, listen, no offense, people hate Donald Trump so much, they won't even recognize they're being duped. If you watch that, I watched it understanding exactly what she was setting up. Mentioning how bipartisan she was going to be. A person who was viewed as one of the most liberal politicians in the country was all of a sudden saying that she was no longer against fracking, was for building the wall. She's taking all these conservative ideas. Republicans rushing to her aid. Yeah, we hate Trump. What do you think she was going to do with all of those people? Someone has to get blamed. She clearly showed she'll never take responsibility for anything. I'll just put it on them. They gave me bad advice. Now, you're saying to yourself, I didn't even think of that. Why would you? Everyone's paying attention to the stuff that's put right in front of them. Oh, they just hate Trump. Oh, they just hate Trump. So much more it's not even that complicated. It's literally, it's Uno. This is nothing more than an Uno game, for those of you who know the game. This is Kamala pulling out a draw 4. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Edward in Waterbury. Thank you, Ed, for holding. How are you, sir?
Good. I wanted to guess.
I'm sorry?
I wanted to take a guess.
Oh, okay. Well, I've already found a winner, but go ahead. Take a guess.
Oh, I guess 25.
Okay. You're high. Not too high, but high enough. But thank you. I appreciate you trying. Anyway, did you have something else you want to add? I don't want to cut you off.
Not really.
Okay. Well, thank you for playing. I appreciate you, sir. All right. Punky is in Windsor Locks. Oh, Punky, this must be a new one. How are you?
Kim. I already put Punky left.
Oh, Punky left. Oh, darn it. Damn it. I didn't even see that. Hi, Kim.
Hello. Do we have to talk about Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
Interview? Or
for this segment, yes. For this segment. Unless you want to call in later. What do you want to talk about later? And I'll see if I'll tell you exactly when I can squeeze it in.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say Brett did a better job than I thought he would have done.
Okay.
And,
I'm glad you're conceding that because you were one of the people under the impression he wouldn't do well.
Right. I think he caved to the softballs and he tried to get it in. But what she did was she just, went full force, saying the same thing, never answering a question directly. So that's how she figured she was going to get through the shortened period of time by showing up late and ending it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So she was trying to control everything, but she didn't convince me or probably anybody unless they're already for her. So yesterday you talked about two names that I knew quite well. Mark Halperin.
Yes.
Mark Halperin, what you need to know about him is his family history. He came from a family that is Russian Jewish communist, and I know
I do know that.
David Horowitz's book, The Shadow Party: How Hillary Clinton and George Soros Were Destroying America.
Yes.
And his name is mentioned quite a bit because his father was involved in doing a lot of behind-the-scenes scenes and promoting communism, but it's not directly called that in the United States. The other one is Harari.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. You're. Goodness gracious. Why not? Noah Harari. It's in fact. Hold on. I have his name right in front of me. Yuval Noah Harari.
First name is Noah, then Yuval, then Harari.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I thought Yuval was his first name.
No, well, maybe in Israel it is, but
Yeah.
The thing about you need to know about him, he is the most influential, powerful communist in the world.
I
now,
know.
According to this, there's an article here that says, and he's Noah Harari is the high priest of the Soros Open Society.
Yep.
Why that's important? Soros funds it totally. He made sure that he was going to be in charge of the Open Society. Open Society is George Soros's.
I'm familiar.
program he's had. And what you need to know about an open society and a closed society, an open society is where people understand ultimate truth is not attainable.
That's right.
Therefore, theories are subject to testing, and the process of replacing old theories with better ones never ends. So you will never know the truth because you're going to be constantly lied to. But what you also need to know is a closed society. Because Soros is against closed society. Here's what he said a closed society is. A closed society is a nation whose culture is based on either the rule of law, the Constitution, it says, religion, Christianity, or another religion, or morality, Western civilization. So Soros, with his closed society, is against a closed society, which means rule of law. He's against rule of law. He's against religion, all of them, and he's against morality. So
Well,
that's
that
why
much.
you need to know
That much.
more
That
about-
much I know. Kim, do me a favor, Kim. Can you send me? Remember his Wall Street Journal article?
Which one?
Soros Wall Street Journal article. The one. It was either Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, but I think it was Wall Street Journal. You'll correct me when I tell you what it was about. The one where he implies that he doesn't want to see one black person go to jail.
That one I'm not familiar.
No,
I know
really?
No.
You're not familiar with this article?
I've got all of his books, and I've actually read them. And I would invite anyone who else has read Soros and understands them to call in, because I'd like to find out if there's more than me that understand him.
No,
He
I
put
know.
down
Trust me, Kim.
one fifth-
There are a lot of people who know. But listen, I want you, because I got to move on. But listen, I want you to find that article. I'm almost positive it's in the Wall Street Journal. This was when the article is in essence about, because I think he was replying to I guess at the time, a lot of news stories were talking about how he was funding a lot of radical district attorneys across the country. I want to say this is maybe about 5-6 years old. But he had done an op-ed in, I believe, the Wall Street Journal. I could be wrong. But I think what he says in there is, in essence, he talks about not his open society, but inside that article, he talks about his criminal justice reform, and he makes this comment about not seeing any African-American ever in prison. See if you can find that for me and send me a link to that. So, because I want to talk to you about that particular article, but I want you to read it. I'm surprised you haven't read that. 'Cause I thought you knew, you read everything on here.
I think I was too shocked at all the other things he's doing about starting wars, color revolutions. Every Brit was lost 1/5 of their wealth, and threatening countries like Germany with taking down their currency 40%. The abortion and the death programs they have. So, and the fact he owns pretty much most of our politicians. So if you wonder why we're going to hell in a handbasket, look at the weirdo that he is.
Thank you.
He's going to be running your station too.
No, hey, listen, I don't. Well, I'll get into that another time. I don't think anybody wants to hear my opinion on that one yet. We'll wait. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to take a break. We're taking your phone calls on this if you were listening, and if you even thought about that angle. Kamala Harris enlisting all of these Republicans, which she said she's going to put in her cabinet, that she says she's going to put into her administration. And I think, for me, if I were to see a Kamala Harris presidency with rhinos inside her administration that she could use as scapegoats, trust me, she would. She would. after that display last night, screaming and hollering about Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Oh, the American people don't like you because Donald Trump is running. Okay. I think that's her in a nutshell. But when we get back, we'll get into that and so much more. We've got the stupidest thing I've read today. This one is a great one, as they all are. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. It will be on the site in about 10 minutes. And, of course, your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm elder law attorney Haley O'Lear. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Kate from Farmington. My husband had a stroke a year ago. I worked with a wonderful team of people that helped me rewrite my will and navigate the Medicaid application. They even came to our home to meet us, understand our needs, and connect us with a healthcare agency.
Find out more at AlairElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
When you're hiring for your business,
minute.
Recruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K=42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080. Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
More news and more views than you can shake a stick. It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. I can't play with this microphone for some odd reason. I think I got to shorten it. I got to fix that. Anyway, we'll talk about a lot of stuff coming up. The Lawrence Jones had an interesting report that I'm going to preview on Sunday's show, which will air early. I think it's airing at 1 o'clock on Sunday because the Patriots play at 9 overseas. So 1 o'clock on Sunday, if you're interested in a Reese on the Radio rundown on the weekend, it'll be there Sunday. But I'll play most of that. We're going to talk about that a little bit because it's interesting. I said this weeks ago here, and to have it confirmed by people at the barbershop, pretty much confirm. Yeah, it just pretty much codifies what I said from the get-go. You may have heard about the Barack Obama lip reading scandal. That's not really a scandal, but people have been trying to figure out what he and Joe Biden were having a discussion about. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up as well. And the what was the thing? Stupidest thing that I've read today, that's coming up as well. We've got the 5 o'clock focus, which is coming up. Oh, and as you heard me talking to Kim about about Brett Baer. Now, I told everyone that I didn't believe that Brett Baer, under the circumstances that this was going on, that there would be any way he would jeopardize his own credibility in this interview, the way in which CBS did, as ABC did. He wouldn't do that because Fox News is already under that scrutiny of not being real news. And I want to talk about why everyone in their own way expressed how bad Kamala Harris was last night. And I've got a supercut for you that will explain that. How we know that Kamala Harris ending up on Fox News certifies what I said, was that this interview was going to tank her campaign beyond the shadow of a doubt. And we'll know in polling data come Tuesday how well it did for her. And I don't think it's going to be good. I think it'll be far worse. In fact, I think that this is a sinking ship. And we'll also confirm that in the story about Joe Biden and Barack Obama at, Ethel Kennedy's funeral. We'll talk about that as well. So there's a lot of stuff that came out of yesterday. But the supercut of Brett Baer shows exactly what I was talking about. Because let me put it this way before we're going to break. I want you to remember what everyone said about the debate at ABC with David Muir and Lindsay, whatever her name is. I never remember her name. I don't know why. And then the CBS debate with those two women. I don't know. Can't remember their names either. I think Margaret Brennan is one of them. I can't remember who the other woman is. But those two on CBS. Remember how the media responded to those two debates. And then we'll look at the way in which the media responded to Brett Baer's interview. And it'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about, why they know that Kamala Harris did not do well. And it hurt her campaign. I also heard during the press conference in talking about the death of Yahya, she didn't take any questions from the audience. That's telling. Let's get to our first check of the traffic with our good friend Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark. Hey, yo. We'll give him a second to get there. By the way, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. If you haven't bought a T-shirt, I'm angry with you.
T-shirt?
Yeah.
Get a T-shirt right now. Buy it. Spend the money.
ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's right.
They're going to be sold out before Christmas, so you better get them now.
That's right. Christmas gifts. There you go.
That's right. If you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, thank you very much. Coming into Hartford, southbound 91 delays 35 down to 32 A and B. Northbound side 91 a little slow 25-26 in Weathersfield. If you're northbound 91, got some tight traffic now approaching exit 40 up to the Dexter Coffin Bridge. We've got some road work up there in the right lane, so look out for that. If you are traveling in the westbound side of 84, you're going to see slow traffic now approaching approaching the Bulky Bridge up to exit 47, Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound delays approaching 46 into the downtown tunnel. 291 through 84, okay, east of the river. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge to the 84 west. If you are traveling on the northbound side of Route 9, look for some slow traffic now from downtown Middletown up to the area of the 372 interchange, exit 27, heavy traffic there. Heading in toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound, you've got slow traffic from 16 up to exit 18. Westbound 84 is tied up, 26 in Cheshire, pretty much right up to exit 17 on the Waterbury Southbury line. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing 3 to 5. 91 in the Parkway moving well, heading down in toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
WTIC. For the rest of the afternoon, it remains mostly sunny, cool with a high of 63 and that breeze out of the north. Then tonight, under clear skies, chilly with the low down to 40 degrees. On Friday, breezy, otherwise pleasant with plenty of sunshine, milder with the high moving up to 70. Beautiful day to kick off the weekend on Saturday. We'll have plenty of sunshine, great weather for checking out some fall foliage both days this weekend. The high
I can
on
honestly
Saturday
say the
of
Cowboys took a
72.
bigger
I'm
beating. I'm
meteorologist
sorry.
Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 58 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. The head of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, has been taken out. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu through an interpreter.
Today, evil has been hit hard, but the task at hand has yet to be completed.
Vice President Harris speaking from Wisconsin.
This moment gives us an opportunity to finally end the war in Gaza. And it must end such that Israel is secure.
Reporter Linda Gradstein says the hope is this development will lead to the release of hostages held for over a year.
Israel says that DNA tests have determined that one of 3 gunmen killed in a fight in southern Gaza was Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. There were no hostages in the area at the time. Families of the 101 hostages still being held in Gaza say they hope that Sinwar's killing will lead to a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of the hostages.
Sinwar masterminded the attack against Israel last year, the worst since the Holocaust. Harris on a swing through Wisconsin, where the presidential race is considered a toss-up. CBS's Natalie Brand.
She started with a stop at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee as her campaign tries to turn out the youth vote.
Now, since we're getting older and we're looking to buy houses, I feel like the economy is a big reason why I'm voting for who I'm voting.
Former President Donald Trump stopped by a barber shop in the Bronx this afternoon with a large security detail. Tonight, Trump appears at the Al Smith dinner to raise money for Catholic charities, a tradition for presidential candidates.
Harris won't be there in person, expected to instead deliver pre-taped remarks. The campaign saying she is focusing on battleground states. A man's dead. New Haven police investigating after they say he was struck by a garbage truck this morning while riding a bike. Crash occurred in the area of Church Street and North Frontage Road. The victim was rushed to Yale, New Haven, and later pronounced dead. The driver of the truck did remain on scene. Officers say a preliminary investigation found that the bike rider entered the roadway from a sidewalk. There's a call for the state to fill 600 job vacancies at the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. SEIU 1199NE says the staffing shortage is hurting patient care at facilities including Connecticut Valley Hospital in Middletown. Union VP Rebecca Simonson says workers are concerned.
They want to provide quality patient care. They want to be able to, take the patients out to appointments, take them out into the community. Oftentimes, because they don't have enough staff, they can't do that. And so their hands are tied.
SEIU calls the department's patients some of the state's most vulnerable. DHMAS Commissioner Nancy Navarrete says the department's staffing levels are higher than they were before the pandemic, and they have worked diligently to address staffing needs and worker safety. Final preps are underway for this year's 31st running of the Eversource Hartford Marathon. About 9,300 runners and walkers are expected to take part in the marathon, half marathon, and 5K on Saturday. Hartford Marathon Foundation President Josh Miller says there are other activities in addition to the runs.
We have, 30 or so exhibitors and vendors that are open to the public, but certainly for people taking part in the event that they can interact with. There's an open beer garden with a live band throughout the day with one of our partners, our Urban Lodge Brewing out of both Manchester and Hartford, so a very local partner that's the official beer partner this year.
Start time for the 26.2-mile marathon is 8 a.m. from the state capitol, winds its way through Hartford, East Hartford, West Hartford, and South Windsor, ending at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch in Bushnell Park. Parking and street closures are available at the website hartfordmarathon.com. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow is up 161 points. NASDAQ ahead 6, S&P down 1 point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe. USA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4600. 4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000.
Coming ready?
203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back, and we've got plenty of stuff to cover today. If you're chilling by your computer, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE. I've been told that I have to spell it. ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Check out the stupidest thing that I've read today. You know, with all of the talk, weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months of talk about how the African-American vote is swinging towards Donald Trump, you would find it odd that somebody on MSNBC would utter such stupidity. But if you go to the website and go to the stupidest thing I read today, you will read about political strategist Stuart Stevens, who suggests that Donald Trump supporters, MAGA for that matter, would burn down precincts in Philadelphia. You got to read the story yourself. In fact, there's video to boot, so you can watch it yourself. Again, to disenfranchise African-American voters, MAGA or supporters would burn down polling places. You got to watch the whole thing. It's insane. That, really? So MAGA, who is, again, stunned, elated by finding out that African Americans are supporting Donald Trump, that they would turn around and go, I've got a plan. Let's burn down a place for them to vote for him. That'll work. We'd win the election in a landslide. Some of these people are just stupid. I guess they're running out of ideas. This comes from running out of ideas, where you just say anything because you're desperate. You're just so desperate. I can't take anybody seriously. It's like saying, I want to know how I can get home, or if I could get home on time. And then saying, I don't want to hear Mark Christopher at BPS Traffic Center.
That's right on the same parallel, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Mark Christopher, what do I need him for? You know, my phone's got no battery power. I can't use my GPS. Who listens to Mark?
So they're claiming Trump supporters will burn down the polls so people can't vote. Is that
in particular, African-American voters.
Oh.
That even though he's gaining ground with them,
Right.
let's make it difficult for them to vote for.
That makes a lot of sense.
I can't with these people. I can't.
What's the source on that now?
Oh, he's a political strategist, but this is what makes it absolutely astonishing. He's a political strategist, and who did he used to work for? Mitt Romney.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we know Mitt doesn't really like Donald all that
Exactly.
much. So there you go. Okay, you just got to put the pieces together, and it all comes together like a nice puzzle. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you're looking at delays from 35 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 27 and 28. Northbound side of 91, that is moving well as you move from Cromwell through downtown. Now, once you get up into Windsor,
Craig, how we doing, sir?
40 up to exit 42. 45 in East Windsor. Right on the Dexter Coffin Bridge, you've got that right lane road work there, so you want to stay to the right or to the left there. Now, westbound 84, you're tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound, you got heavy traffic now. Harbor Park up to just after exit 27 in Cromwell. Got some right lane road work going on there, so you want to stay to the left there. 84 eastbound coming into Waterbury, delay 16 up to 18. Westbound 84 slowing 26 in Cheshire up to exit 17 on the Waterbury-Middlebury line. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing 3 to 5. 91 southbound in the Parkway southbound moving well in toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
WTIC weather.
A bit of a cool day, and it's going to be a chilly night under clear skies. The low down to 40 degrees for us with a light breeze out of the north, but a nice warm up as we make our way through the weekend. On Friday, breezy, otherwise pleasant with plenty of sunshine, the high moving up to 70. Saturday, warmer, plenty of sunshine. Great weather if you're looking to do a little bit of leaf peeping this weekend, the high up to 72 Saturday. Sunny on Sunday, even warmer, the high up to 77. Monday, still very warm with plenty of sunshine, the high up to 78. And Tuesday, another warm day. Sunny skies as that high pressure remains firmly in control, the high of 76. Right now, Danbury 57, Bridgeport at 59, Hartford at 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Hi, I'm Brian Kilmeade. I am so excited to be on WTIC right here in Hartford, Connecticut. I'll be bringing all the breaking news with perspective, give you an idea what's happening, not only the election, but beyond, the things that matter to you on a daily basis. I promise to bring you the best guests, the most insight, and the most prepared. Fresh off Fox and Friends, I come up to do the Brian Kilmeade Show here on Fox News. Make sure you join me on WTIC. Hello, Connecticut. I hope I never have to say goodbye.
Tune in to How to Retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
So you've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts, and finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Natural disasters happen every year. Fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone, lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible 50%.
And 10.
Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories.
Just your address,
That's
big guy, just your address.
legacybox.com/value.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080. Now, yesterday, there were a lot of people who were sort of concerned about Brett Baer and Fox News. And I went online and people were referring to him as, Trump hater, Brett Baer, and all that other stuff. And look, I try not to get caught up in that stuff that's online, even when people are bashing this person or that one. I don't get wrapped up. I don't let myself get emotionally tied to commentary. I don't lift that kind of stuff up. I like looking at it in my own way. And I like empirical evidence. I'll use the evidence in front of me to get to my analysis. I don't know a lot of people who do that. There are some who do, some who say that they do, but I don't really see it. But what really happened yesterday today, I should say, after the fact, was very interesting. And for me, it shows what the media really thought about Brett Baer's interview with Kamala Harris. And what they thought was that Kamala Harris bombed. How do we know that? It's not because these networks had conservatives on the air who told them that. It was because of the focus of the interview. What do I mean? If Kamala Harris knocked it out of the park, I'll give you another example. Let me use an analogy. You're watching the Mets-Dodger game, and the only thing you talk about is the result. Now, if the Dodgers, and you're a Dodger fan, had a sloppy game but won, you would point out that they won. Well, at least they won. Yeah, they won. Now, if they had a fantastic game, you would talk about every aspect of the game. And then the fourth inning. Oh, man, did you see that sixth inning? Did you see that pop fly, that diving pop fly? You'd be very descriptive about the win. That's what winning is about, right? You always talk about what are the things that led to the win. Now, when you've lost and you don't want to blame it on your team, you keep talking about the refs. You'll probably hate on the team that beat them. You'll say anything you want, but you'll never focus on exactly what happened with your team, the implosion. You blame it on everything else. And here is a montage of just that. Listen closely. Listen to what they said about Brett Baer.
The constant jumping in, I couldn't help but feel it's because she's a woman that he's going to keep doing this. So it got a little hard to watch at times.
But what did she say? Name a question that she answered that she hit out of the park. No, you got to focus on Brett Baer.
Brett Baer, he did himself a disservice by doing what he did. He is known for doing the bidding of Fox News, but he ends his show every night as fair, balanced, and unafraid. Well, that was not fair and balanced.
Trump refused to debate Kamala Harris again, so Harris did the next best thing. She booked a debate on Fox News, and that's what this was tonight. She essentially walked into a Trump campaign field office because anchor Brett Baer, who is a solid journalist, he is also incredibly sympathetic to Trump because that's what his fans want. That's what his viewers want.
Now, again, all you have to do is be descriptive of what he did, what she did. If there were so many things that ran afoul, there were so many successes on her part, you'd be able to point them out. Remember, when we were all moaning about what happened at ABC News, we could point to David and Lindsay and exactly what they did, the fact-checking. We were talking about CBS News. We were talking about exactly what they did. We could pinpoint it. This was unfair. That was unfair. Everyone does that strategically. Anyone who complains about that, at least somebody worth their salt, can tell you exactly what their complaint is. But this generality stuff, this all over the place without any being precise, shows that they know Kamala Harris didn't have a win here.
Viewers want him to represent the Trump point of view.
The main event tonight on TV was Vice President Kamala Harris in her first ever interview with Fox News. The unpleasant one already truthed his displeasure that the interview would be conducted by Fox Newsman Brett Baer. Brett Baer has been known to commit the terrible crime of reporting the actual news on Fox, and he obviously felt pressure to go extra hard on Harris so they would let him sit in the lunchroom after the show, and he did just that, which earned him instant kudos from his comrades.
That was probably the most honest analysis from Jimmy Kimmel last night. He was the only one who played it right across the plate. He did. You hear him. He's saying it. Brett Baer did exactly what he was supposed to do. Even though he's ribbing him, he knows, and he even mentions Brett Baer, who's the only person who does straight news.
We witnessed a man who spent his life as a down-the-middle journalist, seeming to throw it all away for his audience of one, interrupting the vice president awkwardly and unnecessarily, ignoring many issues that define this campaign, including a woman's right to health care freedom. How do you think the vice president did on Fox News yesterday?
Yeah, I think Brett Baer was rude. And it kind of surprised me how rude he was.
Yeah.
I've been interviewed by Brett Baer. I've been interviewed by Brett Baer. I understand that he comes at his interviews from a different perspective than maybe somebody who works at other news outlets, than one that has appointed itself as the defender-in-chief of Donald J. Trump.
So you get my point, right? Brett Baer did his job. They can't point out what he did. Oh, he was rude. But where did she knock it out of the park? Because they would totally capture that. Now, you're going to see that later. They're going to all scrap together and go, well, remember this part when she said this? Remember that part when she said that? It'll be too late. Everyone saw it. Everyone saw the reaction. 860-522-WTIC. Dave's in Brantford. How are you, Dave?
Hey, Reese. I have a call I'm going to call Much Ado About Nothing. You know how Kamala is trying to corral up the black vote?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we got Barry Obama out doing his thing last week and Charlemagne the God this week with Kamala. So I heard a comment, and an overarching it all is Biden with that ridiculous statement, if you don't know who to vote for, you ain't black.
Oh, yeah.
It's so condescending and racist. So here's what I heard. It was a quote by one of the Kamala apparatchiks.
Okay.
They're trying to up their ground game and turn out some voters that are for them. And so the expression was turn out votes of color. Spelled V-O-T-E-S, not turn out voters of color. And so I'm going to decrypt what that expression is. Votes of color are people of color who vote their color. And if you have to ask, you ain't got it. And I think
that's such an astute way to read that. I like that. Very astute.
And it's so patronizing that they're not going after voters, actual human beings of color who little by little don't vote 90% Democrat anymore. They only want you if you're going to vote the way they want. And so they're calling that turnout votes of color.
Wow.
I think that is so racist, and that was the only
Dave,
point I wanted
find
to
out
make
who that person is and get me the information. I want to see if I can get that. I want to get that audio.
I can't go back. It was one of the morning shows with either Mark Simone or who's the guy you have in the morning? And it might have been Greg Kelly.
Oh, okay.
It was earlier in the week.
Oh, Greg. Okay, Greg Kelly on Newsmax. Okay. All right, I'll check.
I'm not sure which one it was, but I did take note of it. I was driving, so it's hard to write down all the details. Thanks for letting me on.
No problem. My pleasure, sir. Sean is in Meriden. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm the one with the hat, Hub.
Yes, sir.
It's made.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to get to it's Reese, R-E-E-S-E, on the radio.
Yeah, that's right.
.com.
Sorry?
.com. Yeah, ReeseOnTheRadio.com.
Yes.
But the other thing is, on the Kamala interview.
Yes.
It's amazing how she not once did she answer the question he asked.
Nope.
And then she corrected him as if she was in charge of him and she needed to change the interview because she didn't want to answer the question.
Right.
So here's the deal. If anybody wants to watch it objectively, just ask yourself, would you have your child, would you accept your child answering you the way she answered Brett Baer?
But
the answer is you wouldn't.
Sean, but that was my point.
Until
That was my point earlier in my monologue when I said you would be voting for an adolescent, because in her answer about the 79% of Americans that think that the country's in the wrong track, she said, yeah, it's on the wrong track because Donald Trump is running. And I'm like, this is a petulant child. She gets caught with her hand in a cookie jar and she blames Joe Biden for taking one too. Right? So in essence, and then the other comment she made is like, oh, we've had a decade of divisiveness in our country. Well, a decade would include pretty much the guy who brought her into the scene, Barack Obama, because Donald Trump was president 8 years ago, not 10 years ago, and that was Barack Obama's term. So I don't know what decade she's talking about or whom she's talking about, but she's kind of throwing Obama under the bus as well.
Well, I think what she's trying to say in translation is a Trump derangement syndrome.
Indeed. Oh, I think she thinks that resonates with everybody.
Yeah. But here's the deal. I don't care how long, if you're going to keep putting money in my pocket and freeing me up and taking the bad guys and putting them away because they did something bad.
Yep.
I don't care what color you are. I'm good with you.
Indeed.
But if you're going to be a moron, don't call me a moron because you happen to be one.
Much appreciated, Sean. I got you. I want to play that. Speaking of what Sean's talking about, hold on for Joe. I'm going to get Joe in a second, but I want to play this part because I didn't play all of it. This is that question about 79%. There's another part to it where she goes into it with Brett Baer, talking about Brett Baer knows what she's talking about.
Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
No, you and I both know what in essence, they live in such a bubble. The only people they communicate know exactly what they're talking about. You know what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying here. Donald Trump's the threat. Everyone's on board. Everybody's up to speed. It's Donald Trump. Come on, you and I both know. Brett Baer's like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? And then she goes here.
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me.
Yeah, it's clear to all of them. Let's go to Joe in Simsbury. How you doing, sir?
Hello there. So there's a couple things that one of these things went on last night, and for me, if this makes sense, they're intersecting with a story that I'm becoming very, very uncomfortable with.
Okay.
And here's the story. So last night, she accused Donald Trump of wanting to use the military against us,
right,
U.S. citizens, I believe. Well, Donald Trump did say something recently on Fox News where he talked about possibly having the National Guard or the military protecting people on Election Day.
Yes.
From bad people, left-wing lunatics, sick people, as he described it. And there have been, even prior to him saying that, online rumors of the potential for Election Day violence to try to, wreck the election for the American people in particular. We also know, those of us that have been listening and paying attention, that the Department of Defense just came out with a new directive. It's all over the internet. Ron Paul's been talking about it. A lot of people have been talking about it, giving them the right to assist the police department and potentially kill American citizens.
Right.
And I'm bothered.
I saw that on Jimmy Dore's show, actually.
Yeah, why are all these things being discussed right now? She's bringing up something related to violence on Election Day, and it almost comes across as, this is my guess, is we have this group that is clearly not conservatives. They're probably FBI or something like that, called the Patriot Front, that we see marching around with masks all the time.
Yes.
Something is coming. If Donald Trump is saying this, then he's heard something. She's saying it, and she's blaming Donald Trump. The U.S. government is saying now it's okay, just 3 weeks before an election, that now the military can fire on us.
I'm going to check that
Why
into
are they
that.
bringing up this story?
We need
Is what
to
I wanna
actually
know.
we actually need to bring that up. I'm going to bring that up tomorrow. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. I got to get into another check at the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. And this traffic report is being brought to you by Whittlesey. 91 southbound coming in Hartford, delays 35 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. If you're on the northbound side of I-91, a little slow, 25, 26 in Wethersfield for the Putnam Bridge. After that, moving well downtown up into Windsor. Now, if you're on the westbound side of 84, look for delays East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, not bad at all, just a little tight as you move 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury and Marlboro. Now, 9 northbound, we've got some work in the right lane. Just after exit 27 in Cromwell, stay left there. Delays are back into downtown Middletown by the Aragoni Bridge. 91 south in Middletown down into Meriden, some slow traffic just after 20 down to exit 17. If you're on the eastbound side of 84, heavy traffic in Southbury from 14 all the way up to exit 17 on the Middlebury-Waterbury line. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching 26 in Cheshire up to exit 25, and then again delays 23 into the Mixmaster. More slow traffic 18 out to just west of exit 17. Now, if you're traveling into New Haven, southbound Parkway, you've got delays 60 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway slowing, approaching 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound a little tight down by exit 44 in New Haven. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at WAdvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of the afternoon, mostly sunny, the high of 63, so feeling a little cool with that breeze out of the north. Clear and chilly tonight, the low down to 40. Now Friday, it'll be breezy, otherwise pleasant, with plenty of sunshine to round out the week, the high up to 70. A warm day on Saturday, great weather for checking out some fall foliage with plenty of sun, the high of 72. Sunday, warm with plenty of sunshine again, though the high up to 77. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The man responsible for planning last October 7th's attack on Israel
Be right back.
taken out. Yahya Sinwar was killed in a battle Wednesday, officials say. They'd been hunting for the terrorist for more than a year. President Biden called the development a good day for Israel, the U.S., and the world, adding that it's an opportunity to free the hostages in Gaza and end the war. Man is being held after state police say he was driving the wrong way on I-84 in East Hartford Wednesday night, causing a head-on collision. Wilmer Vizcaino is charged. Troopers say the suspect had a strong odor of alcohol on his breath when he was caught. Vizcaino was driving the wrong way on the exit 56 off-ramp when he hit a vehicle and sideswiped another. Investigation continues into a crash in New Haven this morning involving a bike and a garbage truck. The 24-year-old man on the bicycle was struck in the area of Chapel Street and North Frontage Road. The truck driver remained at the scene. The bike rider was pronounced dead at Yale New Haven Hospital. Bridgeport police say 2 people were killed in a motorcycle crash early this morning. Just after 1, officers responded to Waldemere Avenue and Atlantic Street. That's where they found 29-year-old Rohith Guru Murthy and 23-year-old Zavariah Sheikh. Investigators say the motorcycle rider hit a curb and safety poles. Independent panel investigating the attempted assassination of former President Trump at a Pennsylvania campaign rally this summer says the Secret Service needs fundamental reform and new leadership that another Butler can and will happen again without. The late Whitney Houston's mom was remembered during a ceremony today. Cissy Houston's life was celebrated nearly a week after her death at the age of 91. Dionne Warwick, B.B. Wyans, Darlene Love, and a massive choir helped celebrate her life during a music-filled memorial in the Duchess of Gospel's hometown of Newark. Wall Street, Dow up 161 points today. NASDAQ up 6, and the S&P was down a point. ALCS Game 3. Yanks try to take a 3-0 lead against the Guardians. They should be getting underway in a little over a half an hour. The Bombers lead that series 2-0. Dodgers try to take a 3-1 lead over the Mets in the NLCS tonight at Citi Field. NHL Rangers skate in Detroit. The Isles are in St. Louis. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Tax relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're still waiting for us, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on.
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I was going to mention this. Let me get to this piece here. This is important that I do. I wasn't ready for it because, of course, I got a very important call that's happening in the background. So just give me a quick second. There it is. Okay, Barack Obama and Joe Biden were at a funeral for RFK Jr.'s mom. You guys may have heard about that, and many people were paying attention online to Barack Obama and Joe Biden mouthing words to one another. Okay, and people couldn't hear them because there was no hot mic near them. Well, the New York Post has hired a lip reader to find out what they were saying. And according to this lip reader, who is a professional lip reader, they are deaf and they are used in plenty of investigations, said that what they said was interesting, very interesting. President Biden is heard or seen mouthing the words, "She is not as strong as me." And Barack Obama responding, "That's true." And they also say, Barack Obama says, "I know that's true, but we have time. We will get it in time," Biden said. So that's interesting. Now, the Biden administration is saying that the people who were there didn't hear them say that. But then again, if you watch the video, none of Biden's staffers are next to him. It's just him and Barack Obama with Bill Clinton over to the left of Barack Obama. So no one is there to confirm nor deny. But here's the interesting part. When they did ask the Obama camp what was said, Obama's camp did not deny that the conversation took place. So it looks like they know. It looks like they stone cold know that she's not doing well. Look, if they knew that internal data suggested that Joe Biden's reelection campaign wasn't doing well, then it is evident that they know that Kamala Harris isn't doing well at all. They say it's still time, but I don't think there is. I think they're panicking. I think that there is no way, no chance, no how that she's doing it. In fact, I'm almost certain it's going to be a landslide. Believe you me, it's going to be a landslide. She's not as strong as me. You were barely that strong, Biden. Let's get another check of the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark. We will be there in a second.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you are heading into downtown Hartford right now and you're on the westbound side of I-84, you're going to see some delays as you approach the Bulky Bridge, and it's heavy right out to 47 Sigourney Street, 84 eastbound delays from exit 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91, look for slow traffic 34 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. More slow traffic as you move from 19 to 17 in Meriden. Looks real good. 91 northbound, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 eastbound's a little slow approaching the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound's moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you are heading 9 northbound up into Cromwell, you have some road work just north of exit 27. That is taking out the right lane. So you've got delays back into downtown Middletown behind that. Southbound Route 9 is a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. Now, if you're traveling on the eastbound side of 84, look for delays now, real heavy delays from 14 in Southbury all the way up to exit 18 in Waterbury. On the westbound side of 84, seeing slow traffic now from exit 26 in Cheshire, pretty much right up to exit 17 on the Middlebury-Waterbury line. If you are traveling into New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway, some slow traffic approaching 59 to the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 southbound is just a little tight as you move down by exit 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A bit of a cool day for us, and it's going to be a chilly night ahead under clear skies. The low down to 40 degrees, but a nice warming trend right through the weekend as a big sprawling area of high pressure builds over the region. Lots of sunshine each day as we head through our weekend and right into next week, as a matter of fact. For Friday, pleasant, plenty of sunshine, the high up to 70. Saturday, warmer, great weather for checking out some fall foliage this weekend, the high up to 72 Saturday, 77 Sunday, Monday 78, 76 on Tuesday, and still nice and warm, though partly sunny on Wednesday with the high of 74. Right now, New Haven at 59, Mansfield 55, it's 57 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Connecticut Broadcasters Association has announced the winners of their first ever CBA Awards, and WTIC News Talk 1080 walked away with some hardware. Voted Best Morning Show in Connecticut, Brian and Company. Voted Best Radio News Reporter, Morgan Cunningham. Congratulations, Brian, Matt, Joey, Mark, Bob, and Morgan. When you wake up with WTIC News Talk 1080, you're waking up with the best in Connecticut. It's true. We're not just saying that. WTIC News Talk 1080, the best way to wake up in Connecticut.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Hold on a minute.
He's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots.
They really don't want you to drink and drive,
Now
I'll tell you that.
I just
No, they don't.
say that friendship is about heart
Oh,
and
man.
brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love
Bianchi,
that
thank
guy.
you. I appreciate it.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
Louise first, Louise. It's Reese on the Radio. Oh, you just caught me talking to rolling behind the scenes. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. A lot of stuff going on in the background, man. If it gets busy, it gets busy. My phone is ringing off the hook. I've got to handle my business on the other side. Got to help out customers. Customer service, number one. We'll get into the phone calls in a second. But that Barack Obama thing was absolutely stunning with Joe Biden. As soon as I heard it, was like, they got a lip reader. Everybody was looking for one online. I want to play this for you as well. This was really, really good. Lawrence Jones, and I promise I'm getting to the phone calls. Lawrence Jones of Fox News is doing this thing where he's going across the country talking to real people in the barbershop, in particular, black voters, black male voters. It is the story. So Fox News sent him out there. He's talking. I'm going to talk more about it on my Sunday show. But he was talking to these people at the barbershop in Detroit. And it was a great piece. But this was the part that really stood out. Lawrence Jones in that barbershop said that the vote inside was split. Half for Kamala, half for Donald Trump. The reason you heard here first with Reese on the Radio. And I told you I was right.
The one consensus that you continue to hear is about the Trump economy, the Trump economy, the Trump economy. Sure. The other thing you hear, at least for some of the people that are going to vote for Kamala Harris, is that they want to be a part of the history of the first black woman being president. So there's a balance of economics versus history making going on.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Some people will compromise their own best interest for history. And I'll say this and then I'll get to the calls. I told you guys one of the first times I got here, almost 3 years ago, I said to you on this very platform, one day I held a poll at a barbershop and I asked, what would you rather be, the best in your industry or the first black? and 9 out of 10 barbers and patrons in there, about 20 guys, 9 in 10 said they'd rather be the first black than the best. I went and did that same poll. Some of the people, the same that were there, I did it in 2017. Did the same poll, 50%. So it's a good thing. That number's dwindling. Now to the phones. I want to take Louise first because Louise is new. How you doing, Louise, in New Britain?
Okay, yes. I talked to you before. I just want to make a short announcement because we're talking about Harris, but Trump now. If you want to hear in person on TV interview with Raymond Arroyo on EWTN, that's the Catholic Network.
Yeah, Catholic Network. Yeah, sure.
I'm anxious to watch it. So it's going to be on tonight. So he's on at 8 o'clock, 8 till 9, his program, the whole program. And repeated, if you don't get to watch it, on tomorrow morning, 8:30, and again Monday night at 10 p.m.
Okay. Is there a preview? I thought you were giving sort of a preview of the interview. Have there been leaks of some of it?
No. Well, yeah, they've been not preview, but just announcing it.
Oh, okay. So if anyone's interested in watching it, you're just giving an update.
Right. He's a very good interviewer. I'm
okay.
excited he's going to be on. And that includes our friend Tim, our liberal friend. If he watches that at all, I doubt it. But if you can watch it, he's invited, unless of course he's anti-Catholic.
Oh no! He watches everything related to Trump. He's it's sort of like it's kind of like sadomasochistic in some way. That many people have that relationship with Donald Trump. It's like not liking him but being addicted to him at the same time. It's a weird dynamic. It's like I hate him so much I have to watch everything he does.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Some people have it. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that some people are like that.
Very stubborn. But anyway, also if you don't get that channel or whatever, it's on. You could find it on EWTN.com.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they broadcast live online. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.
You got it. No problem. Hey, Ralph is in South Carolina. How are you, sir?
Good, Reese. A couple of things. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, in 2021, we had a Democratic president named Joe Biden.
That's yeah.
We had a Democratic House. Am I correct with that?
That is correct.
We had a Democratic Senate with Harris as vice president. Is that correct?
Correct.
What did they do to correct the border?
Nothing. Well, that's what Brett Baird, that was the point. It's like when Barack Obama could have done anything and everything when he had the House and Senate in the first 2 years, and instead he decided to go after health care instead of anything and everything else that he could have passed through legislation.
Well, the thing that gets me, too, is, and it was as far as Brett Baird, and I'm going to criticize him, and I think it's fair criticism.
Sure.
When you don't answer a question, ask it again.
I think he did. There was a little bit. Ralph, hold on. There was a little bit of that, but I think, we only learned that afterwards, was that they expected her at 5 o'clock. She arrives at 5:15. They've got a hard news break that they have to get to. In essence, they've got to cut this thing or have it ready for air by 6 o'clock. They arrive late, and then they shorten the time, which the whole thing was done purposely to put him in a shorter window. That's why, because they never wanted to do this interview. They were literally running opposition to getting this interview done. And worst part is that it didn't work out for them. And now that everyone knows that they showed up late and then shortened the interview and was screaming and hollering that we have to cut it off now, it clearly explains what this administration, or at least what this campaign is doing, and that is hemorrhaging. That's all.
Well, I think my personal opinion, Reese, I don't know you personally well, but I think you would have demanded an answer to your question.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have let up, and no one would have been able to leave. No one would have left. I was like, I don't want to hear it. No, don't give me exactly. I would have said, don't give me this nonsense about how she's got a schedule. This woman has been making everybody wait for 40 days to do interviews, and we've asked for a request to meet with this woman. It is important to our viewers to hear from from the vice president and the nominee for president of the United States. Do not shirk us and do not ignore our viewers. They are just as important. In fact, we have more of them than the places you do hang out.
And also, when he asked her if she owed an apology to those people who had their children killed, what was her answer?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry.
Not, hey, we made a mistake.
Exactly.
We didn't vet these people. Because I don't care, Republican or Democrat, Reese, you make a mistake, admit you made a mistake, and go from there. Don't try to say, yeah, well, it's not my fault that these people weren't vetted. It was somebody else.
It was the premise of my opening monologue. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Where are we at? Let's go to George. Hey, George. George in St. Louis. How are you, sir?
Hi, Reese. I think we should re-examine what went on in the past.
What do you mean?
In 2019, the selection committee, they chose the Democrat mechanics chose Biden, who was mentally impaired, and they chose Harris, who had no administrative or never ran a country. So as a result, you had surrogates for the last 3.5 years, like Obama and Pelosi, running the country. Neither one was really engaged with administrating the country. So it was run off a cliff. Things have been run off a cliff. So now you got that same executive committee selling you Camilla, and she hasn't been engaged yet in 3.5 years, and again, she has no administrative abilities or never ran a country. She was never interested in being engaged in government.
No, Kamala's a resume builder. That's what she is.
I'm sorry.
She's a resume builder. That's all she's ever been.
Well, also she's anti-capitalist. So. Just like
I wonder where she got that from. I wonder where she got that from.
Just like at the Democratic convention, she was never vented, really.
Yeah, but that's
just like they never vented the immigrants.
She never. That's a really, really good one. I can't come back from that one. That's a really, really good point. So you're saying they're par for the course. Apparently, there's no vetting in the Democrat Party. Thank you.
Yeah, you're.
Thank you, George. Let me move on. I've only got a couple of minutes, and I got to get everybody in. Mike is in Newington. How are you, sir?
Hey, Reese. How are you doing today?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
Listen, I apologize ahead of time if I, state things that have already been stated by other callers today, or stating obvious things. But I'll tell you a couple things about when it comes to Kamala's speech last night, or her getting on stage with Donald Trump.
Right.
I look back to October of 2020 when she was debating Mike Pence.
Right.
And that's the first time we got to hear, still talking. I'm still talking here. Whenever I see that or I hear, if I even read somebody mentioning it, it makes me cringe. It just makes me freaking cringe.
Wait a minute. Hold on now. Why does it make you cringe that she does it because the person acquiesces when she does it?
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. One of the things that I said, and this was one of the reasons why I want to interview the guy who does a Brian Shackman show from McClatchy, and I'm forgetting his name, so forgive me. But the guy who does the reporting from McClatchy. And I want to ask him an honest question. He may think that it's adversarial, but I think it's an important question. Many people, when it comes to Kamala Harris, have been quick to give her a pass and not be as strong when questioning her because of the black woman trope. You're not supposed to question her. You're not supposed to put her feet to the fire, lest you be called a bigot, racist, or sexist.
Yes.
And
yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you go.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to take away from what you were saying. Also, a few months earlier, Mike Pence was being interviewed by all I can say is D-bag Tony DeCouple
Yeah.
on CBS this morning.
Yeah.
And that son of a bitch was so rude to Mike Pence. I'm like, this guy's the vice president of the United States. He was talking over him. He wouldn't let him make a point.
Right.
Because we all know what CBS this morning is. We all know which way they swing. That disgusted me. And then 2 months later, now I see this with the debate there back in October of 2020. So
Right.
last night was so reminiscent of that, too, when she was doing the same thing to Brett Baer. And by the way, the recording you played a little while ago, the women talking, I don't know if it was CNN or CNBC or whatever,
okay.
saying that Brett Baer was rude. Yeah. I mean, she was the epitome of rude last night.
I couldn't agree with you more about that one. But again, that's what I said. Exactly. The thing here is she's not supposed to be challenged because again, she's a black woman. So she has the complexion and the gender for protection. So
exactly.
She gets a
Let
pass.
me say one last thing, and let me say one last thing here, is that I've been saying this for years. Let's go back to Obama for a minute. I would say to people when they say, "Oh, you don't like Obama because you must be racist," I go, "Listen, not voting for voting for someone because of their color, because voting for him because he's black is no better than not voting for someone because he's black." And I say this because I know many women right now who are going for the girl power thing when it comes to Kamala Harris. The girl, I go, if you're voting for her because she's a woman, that's just as bad as me saying I'm not going to vote for her because she's a woman.
Indeed. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. You got it. Can I take – we can take Mike in Plainfield. He's got about 2 minutes. How we doing, Mike?
This woman is not qualified to model gloves in San Francisco. I tell you, I didn't watch the interview. I was at work last night. I taped it. I didn't have to watch it because I watched enough this morning when I got up. And you're right. She's a woman,
mm-hmm.
and she thinks she's going to be protected. I thought Brett Baer did a good job with the interview. He could have muscled her a little bit more.
I believe he could have.
He could have. I don't know why he didn't. He had a couple of wide open.
He's a very respectful guy, and I think that I do say this about people in the news business. Their reputation is very important as an anchor.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you've got to play. It's a very fine line that he has to play because he's got to be right. He's got to be hard and hard edged, but at the same time, he's got to sort of be able to tone it down and keep it right even. He can't come off like you would. What would you have expected if she had done an interview with Hannity? The two would have probably been in each other's throats because Hannity's like, my audience expects this of me, but not Brett Baer.
I've heard that before. I'm white,
mm-hmm.
and I'm in my late 60s. Oh, you don't want to vote for her because she's black. That is one of the most ignorant statements I've heard in the last 30 years. No. And as for the barbershop guys, okay?
Yeah, real quick.
Want to vote with history instead of efficiency.
Right. Yeah, voting against their best interest, again, because those things are more important than I guess the effectiveness of the candidate. You would think they had learned from Barack Obama, but it goes to show that they have not. It's still got a hold over them. Let's get to another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher at a BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, look for delays 33 down to 32 AMB and again approaching 27 down to exit 28. Some more slow traffic as you approach 19 down to exit 17 in Meriden. Northbound side of I-91, you're going to see delays now as you move up by exit 33 Jennings Road. After that, good ride up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing, approaching 46 down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bissell Bridge. 2 westbound in East Hartford slows exit 4 to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound looks like we had some road work and some sort of a problem in the right lane. 9 northbound up by exit 27. It looked like it might have been a hazmat situation. That might have cleared now. They've moved the camera off that spot. So I'm still seeing some delays, though, as you move up north of the the bridge in the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown up to just north of exit 27. Some slow traffic there, but once again, I think that right lane's been reopened. If you're heading 84 eastbound into Southbury, look for slow traffic now from exit 14 all the way up to exit 16 in Southbury. And then again, you'll see some delay 17 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Westbound 84 is tied up 26 to 25 in Waterbury, again from 23 up to exit 17 in Waterbury. If you're on the southbound side of the Parkway, you've got delays 60 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the West Rock. 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Of the afternoon, it remains mostly sunny, cool with a high of 63 and that breeze out of the north. Then tonight, under clear skies, chilly with the low down to 40 degrees. On Friday, breezy, otherwise pleasant with plenty of sunshine, milder with the high moving up to 70. Beautiful day to kick off the weekend on Saturday. We'll have plenty of sunshine, great weather for checking out some fall foliage both days this weekend. The high on Saturday of 72. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 57 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The man viewed as the one responsible for the October 7th attack on Israel has himself been taken out.
Confirmation of the death of the mastermind of the October 7th terror attacks came from Israel's foreign minister following DNA testing. On Wednesday, the Israel Defense Forces killed Hamas's top leader, Yahya Sinwar, and 2 others in a raid in southern Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said evil suffered a heavy blow, but the war is not over.
That's correspondent Rami Inocencio in Tel Aviv. A man is dead, and New Haven police are investigating an early morning crash between a bicycle and a garbage truck. Crash occurred around 2 a.m. the area of Chapel Street and North Frontage Road. The bike rider was a 24-year-old man, according to police, and entered the road from a sidewalk. New Haven police spokesman Christian Bruckhart.
If you're on a bicycle, you should have a helmet on. And bicyclists, if you're on a bike, you have to obey the same rules of the road as a vehicle. So stop for red lights. You have to maintain the flow of traffic. Don't ride against traffic. And just be safe out there.
Audio from WFSB. The truck driver did remain on scene. The bike rider's name has not been released. The union representing state workers says there's still a severe staffing shortage at the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. According to SEIU 1199NE, there are 600 unfilled positions in the department, leading to dangerous conditions at facilities including Connecticut Valley Hospital in Middletown. Rebecca Simonson is a vice president with the union.
The staffing crisis in Demas just had reached a really critical point. The issues are going unaddressed by the commissioner. Workers are really struggling to give patients the care that they need. And it's a really dangerous environment at this point.
SEIU calls the department's patients some of the state's most vulnerable. DHMAS Commissioner Nancy Navarrete says the department is working diligently to address staffing needs and worker safety. This year's 31st running of the Eversource Hartford Marathon is expected to draw over 9,300 riders and walkers. Add to that the tens of thousands of spectators who'll line the course on Saturday. Hartford Marathon Foundation President Josh Miller says while the 26.2-mile race draws world-class runners, the majority of participants are not.
So we have a big group of those athletes that will be participating, but the majority are folks that are either non-competitive and just want to complete this goal. It's a bucket list item or just a goal of theirs, or you have people competitive with themselves, trying to be better than yesterday. So just a whole walk of folks that will be involved on race day.
There will be nearly 3 dozen vendors on hand in Bushnell Park, as well as a 5K and charity run. Number of middle and high schoolers using tobacco products have fallen to the lowest number on record. CBS's Alex Tin.
Just 8.1% of middle and high school students are currently using tobacco products, according to this year's results from the CDC's annual Youth Tobacco Survey. This is down from 10% of teens last year and is now the lowest on record in the Federal Survey's 25-year history. The decrease is largely thanks to slowdowns in e-cigarette use, though the agency does caution that the use of so-called nicotine pouches is starting to increase nationwide among teens.
Wall Street, the Dow was up 161 points today. The NASDAQ gained 6 and the S&P was down a point. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We hear a lot from our patients.
1 minute.
Successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking great sex, with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. In Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. 5 o'clock focus. Every weekday, Monday through Thursday, here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. The telephone number 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I've got a little bit of a problem. I am hoping that maybe you could tell me how to remedy it. Now, I used to do this thing called Therapy Thursday back in my podcast day. The tagline was, "It's my problem, you deal with it." And I've got a problem, and I need you to deal with it. So a friend of mine, I'm never going to say who it is. No. In fact, let me rephrase that. They're not a friend of mine. I know them, but they are not a friend of mine. I've never had a close relationship with this person. I had a close relationship with someone that they knew, so I know them via that relationship. Anyway, and they, contacted me. "Hey, Reese, how you doing?" "Fine." "Hey, Reese, checking out the show." "Thank you." "What do you think?" "Oh, the show's great. You're fantastic, blah, blah, blah." "Well, thank you very much. Please enjoy the show. Let me know what you think. Please chime in if you'd like, from time to time." Then all of a sudden, I start getting text messages about their personal life. And immediately, I start to get the feeling, I know it's happening. Oh, this is going to turn into a money question. And it did. And the person immediately started asking, "Hey, can I borrow a couple of bucks? Can I? Now, again, if you're a friend of mine and you're close to me, if you're family, if you need it, you got it. So my question to you is, how do you tell somebody, or how do you create the persona that keeps people from asking you for money? Like, I want to be the person that everybody knows, don't ask. No. Hey, maybe I should ask Reese. And they go, no, you don't want to do that. That's the point. I want to create that persona. I don't want to seem mean or even stingy. I'm not a miser. But I'm just trying to figure out, how do you do that? And do you have friends? Like, how do you tell people no? I feel bad telling people no. But I don't like when people ask me for money. I just don't. I'm going to ask Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, let me ask you this, if you're there. Is Mark there yet?
Right here.
Okay, Mark, let me ask you this. Do you have anyone who's ever bugged you for money?
Yes.
Okay, you have.
Yes.
Do you just outright say no, or do you feel pressured to give it to them?
I did it once. I remember I never got paid back. I can tell you that. It was
Really?
a substantial amount.
Whoa.
$1,000.
Now, is that now kept you from ever loaning people money?
No, I'm like you. If I have if I was somebody I had I was tight with, or somebody that I had a relationship with, yeah, no problem. But
Yeah.
somebody that like you said, this person obviously is not in your inner circle. Why
Yeah,
would they
at
be
all.
asking you for money in the first place?
Yeah, and it's like it was out of the blue, sort of like reaching me after I hadn't heard from them for years.
Right. Oh, the show sounds great. Oh, by the way, Reese, I need some cash.
Yeah.
I need to go into the bank of Reese here.
I felt like I got sucker punched, like somebody,
You did. I think you did. Actually, I think you did.
Okay, all right. I'm asking people, like, is there a way that you can sort of create a persona where people know better than to ask you? That's all. That's all I'm asking. Thank you, though. Much appreciated.
Yeah, Matambe, remember he used to, when he unfortunately just passed, but remember he used to get no, with that finger. No, don't come here for that. If you're heading into Hartford right now, you are a little bit slow now as you approach the Bulkley Bridge. This traffic report is being brought to you by
the comments in the chat room are already great.
You've got those delays now. Approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to 40.
Hey, Reese.
Yes.
Eastbound. I'm kind of falling on hard times. I was wondering if
you're on the
you could loan me a couple dollars, man.
3 down to 32 A and B.
I've got $3. $3.
Nobody ever asked me because they know I'm just gonna say no.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
In Preston Avenue, we have an accident in the right lane there. So
Always stay low and quiet and out the way. That's why. So people are like real finicky to talk to me anyway,
Yes.
which I like.
My wife doesn't understand that. She says, she goes, every time we go somewhere, people won't talk to you like you intimidate them. And I said, I like that. I like that.
Heading toward
Yes, leave me alone.
Heavy traffic from 15 in Southbury all the way up to exit 18. Well, actually, all the way up to the Mixmaster still. Westbound 84 is tied up from 25A in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. Heading into New Haven, southbound 91 is tight from exit 6 in toward the 95 interchange. Northbound 91 slowing from I-95 up to exit 5. Southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
WTIC weather.
Under clear skies tonight, it's going to be chilly again with the low down to 40 degrees. Then high pressure building over the region, bringing us outstanding weather all the way into the middle of next week with sunny skies during the day, clear skies at night. For Friday, pleasant day, the high up to 70. Warmer on Saturday, the high of 75. Feeling a little bit like late summer Sunday, the high up to 79. Then it's 82 on Monday for a high. Tuesday, still quite warm, the high of 76. Partly sunny by Wednesday, the high of 77. Currently, Waterbury at 54. New London also 54. It's 55 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dental emergency? There's one place you can go that is always prepared. Columbia Dental in Manchester. Your dental emergency room throughout the state. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
It's a win-win-win. Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell & Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080. Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
This Sunday, the Patriots go across the pond to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Can Drake May and the Pats get a win against Trevor Lawrence and the rest of the AFC South Jags?
There's a long ball down the right side. There's some separation. Touchdown pass. Takes John Moody on a perfect dime from Drake May.
Get the coffee ready. It's football Sunday morning. Patriots Jaguars from London will join kickoff at 9:30 a.m. on your home for New England Patriots football. WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the Professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Tax relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Natural disaster every year. Fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone. Lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by
Not
digitally
well,
preserving
Johnny,
them
not
onto
well.
thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box the listeners an incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
We are back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Michael A. says, Reese, just tell them your initials are RH, not ATM. The 5 o'clock focus today. What do you do when people come up to you and ask you for money? And I know, look, family members is another thing. You know, I'll lend it to my brother. I will, without a doubt. Any one of my brothers. Charles Briggs, without a doubt. I've lent them money in the past all the time. In fact, I had a good friend, Derek, you know, that son of a gun would ask me for mine. One day he called me and asked me for rent money for his mother because she couldn't pay her rent. I'll never forget that. His mom, I love Marcia, God rest her soul. And I didn't hesitate. 15 minutes. He had that money wired to him. This is back in the Western Union days, before you could do like Zelle. And sent it to him. And then when I needed something back, hell, it took him 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm not even going to tell you how much money it was I asked from him. 2 weeks. And by the way, I've never asked for the money back by his mom. Never. And the money that I want was infinitesimal by comparison. Took him weeks to pay it back. What was the other one? I'm sorry. The other question was, Fritz says, let me get the $3 so I could buy some chili Fritos. No, Fritz. No offense. I say no to chili Fritos. Lori says, I was involved in a local soup kitchen. Some of the people would hang out at the local Dunkin' I would frequent, and they would try to hit me up for money. Knowing that money is enabling, I would tell them that I didn't have any, but would come back out with a Dunkin' Donuts gift card so they could eat or drink. That's always a good one. I'll admit, I don't even know why I do this. I feel bad if I don't have like change in the car and somebody comes up looking for change like a panhandler. I always feel guilty, like I won't look them in the eye. Sounds bad the way that I'm thinking about it, but it's like I won't look them in the eye because I was like, don't make eye contact. Because if I don't have it, I have to look at them and I go, I'm sorry, I don't. Michael B says, get a new T-shirt that says frugal as hell, or, the other one. Let's take your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. Fred's in Middletown. Hey, Fred, do people know that you don't have, like you will not lend them money? Do people know that, or do you give in?
At this point, everybody knows that. Oh, I almost never get asked for money.
Really?
If
So you
somebody
built a
asks me for
reputation, don't ask you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it?
Well, steadfastness.
Okay.
In my case, I've been 15, 20 years building that up.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's a long time to build a legacy of no money lending.
Right. And I stay in one area, and everyone knows me. But real quick, so yeah, I'm so anti-beggar. Middletown has a thing with beggars. I meet that at the lowest common denominator.
Right.
I got a Shakespeare quote for you, though.
Go for it.
Money spent figure as money lent, neither a borrower nor a lender be. So, and if you wouldn't give it to them, don't lend it to them.
Right.
And you would have given it to the fellow's mother, of course. And then there's a great joke. I won't tell you the whole joke, but the punchline is this guy's trying to borrow $500 from a rabbi, and the guy's ignoring him. And finally, the fellow, exasperated, says, "Rabbi, I need to borrow $500. You owe me an answer." And the rabbi says, "Better I should owe you an answer than you should owe me $500.
I love that. Love that.
And I think David Lightman is the name of the guy you're looking for.
David Lightman?
Yeah, I think you were saying you wanted to get him on. Brian has him on, or
okay. Yeah, David Lightman. That's him. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
David Lightman from McClatchy.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it is. I'll talk to Joey and see if I can get him on, because I know that Roland's going to be out. I'm not going to mention when, but Roland's going to be out sometime next week. So I'll get him on then. But yeah, thank you for that, David Lightman. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Rand is in Broadbrook. I think I know this name. I don't know if it's the same Rand, though. I only know one person with this name. How you doing, Rand?
That would be me, Reese.
It is Rand?
It is Rand from Broadbrook. Yes,
no doubt. How are you, sir?
I am well. I enjoy your show quite often, my friend.
Thank you. Send Paula my best, please.
I will. Now, as far as lending money goes, if you present yourself to people as living below your means, they never ask because they think that you are poorer than they are.
That's interesting. Now, I'm a T-shirt and hat guy. I mean, if you listen to my show, you've even met me. You know me. I'm not exorbitant. Like, I'm not over the top. You know, I'm not running around with bling bling. I don't have I'm wearing like a smartwatch. You know, it's like, it is Armani, but you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it if you looked at it. I'm a pretty basic guy. I wear Under Armour sneakers. I'm not, I wear Levi's, which would probably be the most expensive thing that I have. So I don't give off the air that I've got money flowing out of my pockets. I just feel like people, gosh, this is going to sound horrible, Rand. I feel like they think I'm soft. Is that?
Well, when people ask me, or when people say to me, "Wow, that's a nice shirt. Where did you get it?" And I say, "Oh, I got it at Savers, or I got it at the Salvation Army, $3." And they kind of look at me like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I asked."
So, all right. So in essence, it's much more than just toning down the look, right? Do I have to give?
Yes.
Okay. How about this one, Rand? When was the last time anybody asked you for money, and how did you respond? I mean, let's say anybody other than family, not if it was family, just someone outside of that circle.
It was a professional colleague.
Okay.
That hit me up just before Christmas and said that he had a friend that was in trouble and he needed $500. and I said, "I don't wear a red suit and I don't have a beard."
Wow. That is a hell of an answer. That's almost that's a kick in the rear end to say, get out of here.
Come on, don't lie to me and tell me your buddy got in trouble and needs money. You fess up and tell me you lost money at the casino,
right?
And you're afraid to tell your wife. Don't bullshit me. You know?
We got to edit that.
Oh, sorry about
That's
that.
okay. That's all right. That's all right. People get comfortable when they talk to me.
Just one quick thing. Yesterday, I was listening to the conversation about the FOI and the Connie system here in Connecticut. Well, I responded to an email from Inside Investigators last night.
Okay.
And they would really like to talk to me more in depth about this. So I'm going to need to contact you about getting more information because they want to investigate this.
I know. It's funny because I just got someone else in touch with them as well. And did you contact my guy, Mark?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Okay, Rand, get in touch with me. You know how to contact me. Reach out to me, and I'll get you Mark's email.
Awesome.
You got it. All right. I appreciate it. Again, send Paula my best, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You got it. Let's go to Jim, who's in Willington. How you doing, Jim?
Yeah, nice to talk to you again.
Always, sir.
You know, outside of family and other people I would consider family, I don't think I've ever been hit up by anybody for money. But,
really?
But on occasion, if I found out somebody who I knew legitimately needed money, and I could give it to them, I would find some way to do that.
Okay. And again, I always look at the need, like why the need is there. And this particular person's reason was such a personal thing. And it was so all of a sudden, again, like I said, I got sucker punched into it because there were all of these accolades, right? He was playing to my sensitivities, right? Oh, man, I've been listening to the show. It's great. You know, how long have you been doing this? And then, as I'm responding, and I'm like, oh, wow, reconnecting with somebody I haven't talked to in such a long time. And then immediately it started turning into, man, I've been going through a rough time. And I'm like, oh, why did I ask you how you're doing?
Well, yeah, concerning relatives and people I would consider relatives, very close friends.
Right.
At the end of the day, I have given money to those people, and the way I look at it is real simple. No matter who it is, as soon as the money changes hands, as far as I'm concerned, I'm never going to see it again.
That's the way I look at it.
That has never been the case, but that's how I look at it. Well, on one occasion, that's not true. And it's funny how that still bothers me to this day.
Yeah.
But every other time, I just look at it as I'm never going to see the money again.
And I think that's, you know what? And I think that's the way I got to go into it, is saying to myself, can I part with this money and never see it again? And that should be the template that I work off everything. Thank you, Jim. Much appreciated. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I have one other short thing. I've always had the philosophy, and whether it's smart or not smart, somebody else can decide. But when I never had money, when my wife and I never had a lot of money, when we were struggling, if we knew somebody else needed it, we gave it.
Yeah.
And it could be $10, $20, $100. And when I did have more money than I normally would have, it was the same philosophy. I really never had any respect for it. If somebody needed it more and I had it, I gave it to them.
Right.
If somebody needed it more and I didn't have it, and I knew it was sincere, I gave it to them anyway.
Wow.
So it's probably good and bad. I don't know, but that's kind of
I hear you. Everyone's got to have their own way of doing it. Let's see if we can take Joe in New Hampshire real quick. What do you got for me, sir?
Hey, Reese.
Hey, no, Joe. If I need to hold you over because you've got more to share, tell me. Because I'm about to go into a heartbreak in less than a minute. You want to hold over?
Hold me over because
you got it.
I got some news.
Okay, nope. You got some rules? Is that what you said?
No, news.
Oh, some news. Okay, all right, we'll hold you over. In the meantime, let me read some of the comments. Craig says, my bet is when you hit Cap Grill or Michael Jordan's, you look proper. Yeah, I've been known to look okay. Michael B says, I hope it was Howard Stern that asked for money. He will never. Lori says, he might think that you're hitting it rich for being on the airwaves. I was thinking that too. Which is, again, one of the reasons why I was like, I feel like I'm being baited here or taken advantage of. Feral Mirth, that's an interesting name. He's on Twitch. He says, don't ask me for money. You're not my wife. Yeah, my wife doesn't even ask for money. She takes it. Sokolowski says, Reese, my roof is leaking, and I'm not able to scrap up the money. You think you could help me with $3,000? I can't even help you with 3 cents. To be honest with you, I'm just not doing it. What's the largest amount that they ever asked for from you? Oh, no, what's the measliest amount someone's ever asked you, Mark Christopher, in a BPS traffic center? What's
maybe $3 or $4 or $5, maybe?
Like $5? Now, you're talking about as an adult or like back in 1974?
Boy, I don't remember that far back, but yeah, if it's, if you need a couple bucks, that's not.
Oh, like you're in the grocery store, and the guy said, "Hey, you know what? I forgot my wallet. Let me buy me this soda."
If he's holding up the line for $3 or $4, man, I'm gonna fork that over quickly because I don't want to stand there. was like, here, take it. Get him out of the way. Get moving, baby.
As you can see, folks, Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center, doesn't even like traffic on the line in the store.
No, I don't. Get me out of there as soon as possible. Hey, Reese, thank you very much. If you are traveling right now into the Hartford area, this traffic report is being brought to you by Whittlesey and 91 southbound. Look for delays now from exit 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. And we got more heavy traffic approaching 20 in Middletown. We have an accident down by exit 19, Preston Avenue in Meriden. The right lane is out there. Northbound 91 moves well, Cromwell through downtown, up into Windsor. Westbound 94 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge, up to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. 291 through 84 okay to the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. A little slow 84 Route 2 westbound as you merge with 84. Okay in Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. Still seeing heavy traffic now as you move from exit 15 in Southbury all the way up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Westbound 84 is tied up from 26 up to exit 22 on the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you are traveling on the southbound side of the parkway, look for delays approaching 61 down to 60. And then again, a little slow as you move down by the West Rock Tunnel. 91 northbound. We have an accident about a half mile before exit 8 in New Haven. That is on the right shoulder where you've got Curiosity delays back to I-95 behind that. Southbound 91 slowing 4 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Whittlesey is your business. Want your business to succeed? Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at WAdvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Clear tonight, low 40, and then we'll wrap things up on Friday with a high about 70 and mainly sunny skies. The man who planned the October 7th terror attacks on Israel has been taken out by the Israeli military. Here's CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Last month, the Justice Department charged Sinwar and other Hamas figures, saying they financed, directed, and oversaw a campaign to murder U.S. citizens and endanger U.S. national security, orchestrating killings and kidnappings.
His decision, and it was very much his decision, to launch the terrorist attacks of October 7th, unleashed a year of tragedy in the Middle East.
That's State Department spokesman Matthew Miller. President Biden says the killing of Sinwar is a good day for Israel, the U.S., and the world, and calls it an opportunity to free Israeli hostages held by Hamas and end the year-long war in Gaza. Man is dead, and police in New Haven are continuing their investigation after they say he was struck by a garbage truck while riding a bike early this morning. Around 2 a.m., crash at Chapel Street and North Frontage Road. The 24-year-old's name has not been released. Police say the truck driver did remain on scene. Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz due in Connecticut this weekend. Multiple media outlets reporting that Walz will attend a fundraiser in Greenwich with top state Democrats. An independent panel investigating the attempted assassination of former President Trump at a Pennsylvania campaign rally this summer says the Secret Service needs fundamental reform and that, quote, another Butler can and will happen without major changes in how the candidates are protected. Review faulted the Secret Service for poor communications that day and failing to secure the building where the gunman took his shots. And preparations are continuing for this weekend's Eversource Hartford Marathon. The 26.2-mile jaunt will take runners from the state capitol through East and West Hartford and South Windsor as well before winding up at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch in Bushnell Park on Saturday. On Wall Street, the Dow finished up 161 points. The Nasdaq gained 6 points, and the S&P was down a point. Top of the second inning in the ALCS. No score between the Guardians and the Yankees. Bombers lead that series 2-0. Later tonight, the Mets will try to come back from yesterday's debacle. They take on the Dodgers at Citi Field. LA leads that series 2-1. Rangers in Detroit in the NHL tonight. The Isles skate in St. Louis. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Yep.
This here is Bowser, inviting you to join me at the Mohegan Sun Arena for Bowser's Rockin' Doo-Wop Party, Volume 23, the final chapter. On Sunday, January 19th, you'll see some of the greatest acts in music history, including Chubby Checker and the Wildcats, Gary U.S. Bob, Casey Goes Poking, Peggy Mark, The Dogs, Lala Brooks, original lead singer of the Crystals, New York City 9/11 firefighter Frank Pizarro singing the music of the Platters. My shot and our pal Johnny Catardo with me and my group Bowser and the Stingrays and our band Rocky and the Rollers. All of it hosted by me. And it's my final public show. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, visit MoheganSun.com. Be there or be square and greets for peace.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts for timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. We are back with the 5 o'clock focus right here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Of course, the 5 o'clock focus question is, how do you get people to not ask you for money? Do you have a problem? Do people always ask you and you have to give it? And I know there's the usual, the panhandlers and stuff like that. You know, the people with the causes out on the street. And one thing, I'll tell you this. When did this become a phenomenon? Where people were at the intersection sitting on the little cement divider or standing on the cement divider with the sign. I mean, I've seen them before, don't get me wrong. But there was like this boom of them everywhere. And I've never seen anything like that. New York, now I'm from New York City. We used to have the squeegee guys. Thank God Giuliani got rid of them. The guys used to come out there with a dirty rag and clean your windshield. Oh, I hated that so much. I didn't even drive a car, but they would do it if I was in a cab, on a livery cab, something like that. Oh, I hated that behavior. But how do you get people to not ask you for money? Or do you get asked a lot because people think that, you know, you're going to be kind enough to give it? And I don't understand it. And I can tell when I'm going to get it. Like this particular person I'm talking about, it was that, you know, warming me up. Hey, man, how you been? I'm great, blah, blah, blah. And start talking about stuff. And I almost feel, here's where the crazy part was. When he started talking about the show and about radio, which, again, you guys know I'm passionate about, my guard's down. Like, I immediately go, oh, they want to talk about something I like. Hey, yes, radio's been fantastic. I'm having a great time, and the listeners are fun and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, my life sucks. Going through a problem now. And I'm going, oh, boy. I can feel it. I can feel it coming on, and sure enough, the questions dropped in the text, and I read it. And you know what I did? I got to tell you what I did. This is the horrible part. I blocked him. Oh, I've been feeling guilty about it. It happened weeks ago. And I've been thinking about how to bring it up, but I blocked him. And then his mother friended me. Oh, it's just an awful thing. It's a horrible, ugly thing. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. I'm such a bad person. His mother friended me. What do I do?
Oh, no, not the mother now.
Right, like, exactly. His mother is
say no to that.
His mother is probably saying to herself, "Did you block my boy?" That's exactly what she'll say when I contact her, and I'll be like,
Reese, you got to find a.
You better block her ass, too.
Nobody can find you.
Exactly.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. We've got more delays as you move from Meriden, from Middletown into Meriden. Got an accident down by exit 19. That's in the right lane. Delays are back to exit 20 Country Club Road. Northbound 91, a little slow by 22 in Cromwell. After that, easy ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Boakty Bridge out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 Avenue into the tunnel. It looks good. 291 through 84. 2 westbound's a little tight as you merge with 84 west and East Hartford. Middletown looks good now. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. If you are heading 84 eastbound in Southbury, look for slow traffic now as you approach exit 16 right up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Westbound 84 in Cheshire slowing from 26 up to the Mixmaster. And if you are heading 91 north in New Haven, delays from I-95 up to exit 5. Earlier accident just prior to exit 8 in New Haven has been cleared from the right shoulder. 91 southbound delays from 3 and toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound slowing from 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. It'll be a clear and chilly night here for us with the low temperature dropping down to 40 degrees. Then it's a nice warming trend into and through the weekend with some late summer-like weather coming as we head on toward the end of the weekend and into next week. So sunny skies during the day, clear skies at night. On our Friday, we'll have a high of 70, 75 for Saturday, Sunday up to 79. Monday, we're looking at a high of 82. Tuesday, still sunny and warm, the high up to 76. Partly sunny on Wednesday, but still very warm, the high of 77. So some very warm weather. Hope you didn't put the shorts away just yet. Waterbury, 54 right now. Danbury, 57. 56 in Bristol, and it's 55 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
I'm NBC Connecticut's Kevin Nathan. Last year, more than 1,000 care packages were sent to our military overseas. Let's make this year's Boxes to Boots even better. Join Comcast, NBC, and Telemundo Connecticut. Help send packages to our troops this holiday season. Go to NBCConnecticut.com/boxes to boots, shop online, or make a monetary donation, or drop items in person at any participating Xfinity store.
Boxes to Boots is brought to you in part by WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, it's Michael Smerconish. Business owners, have you plateaued on your social media and online efforts? Why not tap into podcasts and radio? My friends at Radioactive Media know the recipe to launch, optimize, and scale performance by building compelling audio campaigns which work. Text the word profits to 511-511. If you're a mid-sized company or well-funded startup with a monthly budget as low as 5 figures, text the word profits to 511-511 online at radioactivemedia.com. Text rates may apply.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Space.
Warm, innit?
Tier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles.
Highly logical.
Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
Me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee... Reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, we're there. There's that thing. I got to fix that. Okay, maybe I just got to get a new plug. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Almost a wrap. Don't worry, Joe. I didn't forget you, Joe, in New Hampshire. We'll get you in a second, I promise. I want to read some of the stuff that's in the comment section here as well. Lori is all over this one. I love it when Lori's in the chat room. She goes, you hear stories that when people win the lottery, total strangers will contact the winners. This is too bold and brazen for me. I agree. Like the guys, I've seen a lot of guys who have won the lotto, and it would be like I shouldn't say a small sum. $1 million is a lot of money. Maybe not a lot these days, but he win like something like $1 million, and he'll get these women who are marriage offers, which again I in my head I'm going, wow, like how low would you don't even know the guy. It's like wanting that money so bad. I want to marry you? Just get out of here. Are you crazy? Tara, now, Tara, ma'am, I cannot believe I'm about to read this. Tara says, I got asked a lot in Hartford. I just say I have a teenager. I'm broke. They have upped their game and said, if you have an ATM card, I can go to the bank machine with you and you can give me $20. And her response, of course, is, oh, hell no. I can't believe anybody would be so brazen. I've said to people, I don't carry cash. That's a line that I use. I'm like, no, I don't carry cash. Michael A. says, I was at an intersection that had a really long red light. This woman was on the divider with the sign staring at me for what felt like a half an hour. Then she pulls out a $1,200 smartphone out of her pocket. Yeah, I see that a lot. Like my other one, when I used to live in Virginia, there was this woman right at the intersection where the bank was. So an interesting place for somebody to be hanging out panhandling, but, there you go. But I would see them there all day. It was right around from the U-Haul I worked at, and I would, go around the corner for lunch, maybe go, have a bite to eat, and they would be standing there all day. Like that was their job. And then one day, out of nowhere, I think I went to the bank after I was off about 5, 6 o'clock in the PM. I go to the bank, and then I've got to come around the corner to the intersection where they're standing. Well, I just so happened to catch them walking across the street, ending their shift. I guess panhandling has a shift. And they walked across the street, and they got into a cargo van and drove off. And in my head, I know I didn't see it. Like, it didn't look like the person was living in the cargo van. It just looked like a nice cargo van. And I remember one of my friends telling me, oh, yeah, man, it's lucrative. And I go, like, how lucrative can it be? Well, it turns out some of these people, that's right, it's tax-free. Some of these guys walk away in a week with at least $1,000. At least $1,000. And I immediately, that was my view. My view was like, you're never getting a dime out of me then.
Yeah, real quick.
Yes.
My pops was NOPD.
Okay.
And one of his good friends was an NOPD, and he would work the morning shift, 7 to 3, get off the morning shift, dress up in hobo clothes down in New Orleans, put his bucket out, and lay down on a strip from 3 to 9. And he made $300, $400 every night.
What? Wait a minute, he was a New Orleans police officer, and he would go, and because, of course, they don't have any rules about you panhandling, he would go in there, and he'd just make extra $300 to $400 a day?
A night, yep.
What?
Every night. Mm-hmm.
That's a hustle.
And my dad wanted to do it, he just couldn't.
Couldn't muster too much pride, right?
he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it, but he always talked about it. He's like, this guy making $400 every night, and that's like $2,000 untaxed dollars a week.
Yeah. Let me tell you. All right, I'm going to tell you this story before I take Joe's call. So this really happened to me, and again, this is the reason why I feel like a sucker, and I feel like people are playing me like a sucker, but it's my fault. I look at myself. So my girlfriend at the time was a woman by the name of Christine, and she always lived out in Manhattan with her dad, and one day I finally convinced her to come all the way to Queens. And she came to Queens, and we were hanging out, and I took her out on a date, and I was feeling like a baller, Roland. I was feeling like I was raking in the dough. I had my first real job. I was feeling like the ballingest dude in the world. So finally, I had to take her home on the train, and it's an hour-and-a-half ride on the subway. And we're on the F train, and we go all the way to where I need to drop her off. And there's this guy who walks in. He's got an afro, and he's looking really, really bummy, like really bummy. Not that he smelled or anything, but he looked really bummy. So I wanted to look like the most altruistic person in the world. And so as he walks up, I go into my pocket, into my wallet, and I pull out a $20 bill, and I hand it to the dude to impress my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, my God.
I hand him $20. So anyway, just to make matters worse, I've got to ride the train back an hour after I drop Christine off. And I take the train back, and I'm standing by myself. And thank God Christine was not on the train when it happened. But as I'm coming back, the same guy, because I recognized him, looked at him, and he's walking through the subway, and he is wearing one of the nicest suits I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I go, as he walks by me. Now, I'm a gregarious person, as you know. So when he walks by me, I look at him, and I go, hey, did I give you $20 today? And he goes, yeah, brother, thanks. He kept walking. And as I said it, another woman was in there, and she goes, he got you too, huh? And I went, what?
Wow.
She goes, he does it to everybody on this train. He goes out, he makes all the money, then he goes out, he parties, and has a good time. Wherever he lives, he goes and he changes, and then he goes back home, and he looks, he always looks the same. He goes out like a bum, collects a whole bunch of money, then he parties all night. Doesn't cost him a thing. She goes, he got you, didn't he? And I went, yeah. I felt like a complete moron. I couldn't believe it.
Grifter.
Yeah, really good, because his hair was all disheveled. He was like, he looked like he was native, part Puerto Rican, but when he looked like a bum, his hair was all disheveled, like in this big, like natty afro kind of deal. But when I saw him, he had his hair slicked back. I mean, he looked sharp as a knife. And I'm like,
do you think people are born? Is that something in their DNA?
Yes.
That
I believe you have. Listen, in order to be that kind of a grifter, you have to have no shame. Doesn't make no shame. That's the whole point. You can't care. You don't have to care about getting busted, about whether or not they are comfortable in their own skin and their own scam. I think that's a DNA thing. The rest of us who are just like who have a problem, like your dad. Your dad had a moral issue with being out there pretending to be homeless and collecting money. He saw something unseemly about it, but other people, not a bit. Not a bit.
Wow.
Oh, darn it. Okay, I think that's just the way that they are. Now, with that, I'm seeing everybody in the chat room. Craig said, I put $20 of gas in a woman's car at a gas station because she forgot her purse. Then I followed her to Stop and Shop, where she went in and came out with a carriage full. Yeah, exactly. Again, playing on our sensitivities. This is the reason why I brought it up. It's the reason why I brought it up. Lori says they did a 60 Minutes years ago. They followed a poorly dressed woman. That's right. I saw that one. Out of a rich D.C. suburb. And yeah, and she was panhandling. Tara says, I noticed a lot of people who work parking lots at Bristol. They work together and pool their money. I think the people are around Corbin's Corner and West Farms, they do the same. Both groups get in cars and drive and leave together. This is such a scam. Lori says, at one time I watched some of the panhandlers get out of a car with New York plates. To your point, it was a job. Yeah, it is. It is. That's the way it is. Let's get to our good friend Wall Street Joe. What's up, Joe? Thanks for holding. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, the 60 Minutes piece back in the 1990s. I watched that too. They followed one guy who was posing as a blind person a few blocks. It was in New York City near Wall Street.
Yeah.
And when he got to his car, it was a brand new Mercedes, a black Mercedes. And he folded up the wheelchair in the back, and
bunch of Kaiser Sosaks, man.
Yeah, Kaiser Sosaks, right? A bunch of Kaiser Sosaks.
And I know for a fact out at Wall Street, back in the 90s when I used to go there a lot, right outside, the exchange, there was more than one person in a wheelchair with sunglasses posing as a blind person. And the Wall Street traders, especially at lunchtime, they'd be throwing 10s and 20s into his, bowl. And everybody assumed he was a fake.
I wonder if Eddie Murphy's character in Trading Places was inspired by or inspired the action of pretending to be, one of these homeless guys. I wonder if, you know what I mean? I wonder which came first, the chicken or the egg on that one. He probably was going based on something that was already true. That's what I was wondering. What's your news, Joe? What do you got going on?
Well, the first thing I wanted to run by you, this Charlemagne the God. I told you a long time ago, you've got to come up with a moniker for yourself to really break out.
Wait. What is Reese on the Radio? Is that chicken liver?
Well, Reese. You could say Reese the Devil, Reese the Rapture.
No, not going to happen.
The Rapture has a nice ring to it, but you got to come up with a moniker, Reese, and then you could get, what's her name, on an
I don't want any parts of whatever Charlemagne the God's got going on. I want no parts of it. You know me, I'm going to go on my own merits. You know that. Anyway, what else you got? Did I lose him?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
What do you got?
Here's the news.
Yes.
Here's the news. About 10 nights ago on Coast to Coast, his premier guest was a Brian Minmick.
Okay.
And I would copy that name down on your pad. Brian Minmick, M-I-N-M-I-C-K. He just came out with a book, 36 Years of Research on Montauk Point. Now, I've heard people call into the shows over the years about Plum Island off of Connecticut.
Yeah. We talked about that on Whack Job Wednesday.
Lyme disease. Yeah, but here's the thing about Montauk Point. It goes back to the 1930s when World War II was erupting. The U.S. Army, government, Navy, they established a military base on the tip of Montauk Point. And his book, I got his book on order. It's like $40. I can't wait to get it. But he has like 36 years of research. And what they were discussing and what he found on the island, Plum Island was just a place for them, one of the places they used to carry out their experiments, altering animals and
really
U-boat submarines. I guess they took prisoners from Germany, during World War II, and they were never seen again because they were used as human experiments.
Wow.
Subterranean bunkers. Now, the pictures I saw on the internet shows you these bunkers, but the government, they closed it down in the 80s, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Just I'm reading it now. They're calling it the secret life of a Long Island military installation called Fort Hero.
It was Camp Hero, yeah. And just before they closed it down and the experiments were getting quote unquote out of control, it would. You're big on movies. Remember the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau?
Yes.
They said it would rival the movie Dr. Moreau, the kind of experiments they were carrying on humans, animals, insects, everything. It got out of control. And guess, allegedly, a young doctor was at the pinnacle of these experiments just as they were shutting it down. You want to guess who that doctor was?
I already know, and you didn't even – you set it up great because I knew it was coming. Please tell me it was Dr. Fauci.
Absolutely. The 85-year-old Dr. Fauci was a young experimenter back in the late 60s and early 70s.
It's so funny you say that because what was one of the things I said on this show when I found out that Dr. Fauci was doing those experiments on the beagles and the flies? They was putting those nets around the flies of beagles and was experimenting that he was a part of. The first thing I was saying to myself was that this guy is the island of Dr. Moreau. That's, gain-of-function research is, in essence, just that. I wouldn't be surprised that he was a part of this.
When they closed it down, according to Brian Minmick, they filled up the bunkers with cement. It's cemented in underground, so there's no way someone can dig it up someday to try to get evidence.
Wow.
And they were going to turn it into a world-class golf course, but the environmentalists intervened in the 1990s. Guess who wanted to put a premier golf course out there in the 1990s? Want to take a guess who wanted to?
Probably Trump.
Exactly, Donald Trump. You see how names it's
funny. That is
back 30, 40 years ago.
That is insane. I got to get out of here, folks. As I always say, radio is free. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Please do not forget that tomorrow is
the airing of grievances.
If you'd like to air a grievance, do it tomorrow. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
Reese, good night to you. Good night, everyone. And if you're
Tomorrow's also Friday, my friend.
eastbound side of
no.
Friday.
Stand by. I gotta send you the promo for today because I gotta edit some stuff with Kamala Harris.
All right, cool.
I'll send it to you shortly.
All right.
Bye.
You'll see delays again approaching exit 20 down to 19 in Meriden. Earlier accident in the right lane down there has been cleared out of the way, so those delays should start to ease out now. Northbound 91 moving very well. Cromwell through downtown up into Winter. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Michael A. By the way, Michael A. Shirts on the way. Fritz, Mike's shirts on the way. So everybody. Oh, Craig also shirts on the. Well, no, your shirt's on the way tomorrow. Everybody else, your shirts are on the way. If you, I think Fritz, Michael A. Some other one. I follow them all day, telling people not to give her money. Craig, you were a bloodhound. I love you guys. Thank you. Oh, gosh. I will see you guys tomorrow. Be good. Stay out of trouble. I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to do now. All right. I'll see you guys. I don't think if I ever have to do a regular job in the world, I think that would be enough for me. I